What's going on, everybody? I'm so glad to be here in the room in the presence of all of you tonight for a very special episode of Watch What Happens NXT. Now, the black and yellow brand is known as NXT, is on the road to stand deliver because, let's be real, is their version of WrestleMania. But before they can do that first, they are here to seek vengeance against those who've wronged them, those who talk shade about them, even those who just need um to be whooped like a trick. We are going to be going over everything NXT, but not, of course, without going over everything that is Vengeance Day. And I wouldn't be fair, it wouldn't be right for me to do this pre-show without the amazing people that always hang out with me in the club. Because let's be real, who we don't club on a Sunday, but we here, like we here, we outside, we active. We are just doing the damn thing. So I'm joined here by these three illustrious people who want to always drag me out the club because for some strange reason I don't like to leave the club. So without further ado, I want to introduce the people to me who always sit at the bar and serve me a shot. I am joined here by, of course, your queen of the wrestling girls, Miss Queen PR, one half of those wrestling girls. I'm also joined by the booker I like to call himself, Mr. Brian H. Waters is with me in the building. But of course, certainly not least, it wouldn't be a fun, active, slightly inappropriate pre-show without my love, the one, the only, it's Justin Rich. So I'm going to start this by saying, guys, why am I here on a club pre-gaming on a Sunday? Like, yeah, nobody's dragging me out, but I'm here. I'm thank y'all for coming to this extended day party that we are having before NXT Vengeance Day kicks off. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Shucky ducky quack quack. Let's get it.
Hey, let's get it.
Now, shout out to Booker T. Sending him love.
Sending him much love. As you guys already know, if you guys haven't heard, tonight he cannot attend NXT Vengeance Day, which is live from Clarksville, Tennessee. And then ironically, Clarksville, Tennessee, I want to give the prayers and hopes to the people out there. They're still recovering from a massive tornado, but they said the show must go on. They are still at the FM Arena. There are people lining outside as we speak. Giving a big shout out to Nikki Booski up in the chat. I know she's out there waiting to see what's going on. But there's so much to cover. There's so much I want to go over. Of course, I want to go over this pay-per-view that resurged itself in 2021 as an NXT brand PLE. But first, we are old school. We are attitude airheads. We are adjustment. We are ruthless aggression airheads, I like to call myself. So we know Vengeance Day as far back as 2000. So before I even get into the discussion at hand, of course, I'm going to do a quick plug. As you know, my boss down there on the right, Miss Queen PR, with one half of her other best tag team partner in the game. I like to call them my tag team champions, Miss Krista B of those wrestling girls. They put out episodes every 2 weeks here on their YouTube channel and Twitch and X now. So you can catch all their stuff on their streaming platforms as well as join their Patreon because their Patreon got some good stuff.
Please do. We got some stuff coming.
They got some really good stuff coming. You can also join. I'm going to leave Mr. Brian H. Waters last because he's just a busy man. He's a busy man, let me tell you. I'm going to also plug my boy, is Justin Rich. You can I always find Mr. Justin Rich on Turnbuckle Talk on behalf of our family at Black Wrestling every Tuesday before NXT. So if you get tired of hearing my voice every once in a while, you can tune into them because they always chopping it up at the bit and having so much fun. You can also tune them on True Hill Heat Sports, right? I finally said it right.
True Hill Heat Wrestling and True Hill Heat Sports. They got two channels.
You got two channels. And you can also plug him in on his YouTube channel, which I will be leaving in my description box below when I repost this episode coming up. And certainly not least, to the guy over here, you can catch Mr. Brian H. Waters on Wrestle Worldwide every Wednesday. You can also catch him when he's not in here in the club with the three best friends that anybody can have. Every Wednesday, you can catch him on his own podcast, The Wrestling Realm, one of the longest podcasts in the game. So, did I miss anything?
You hit it, girl.
My God, what an entrance.
You hit it and hit it strong.
Yeah,
one time.
Shout out to everybody in. Yes, thank you. We want to give a big shout out. Of course, it wouldn't be me doing this stream without giving everybody who's up in the chat. I already see Rakasha's
Hey
first VIP
guys,
in the
hey
chat. I
Rakarsha.
also
Hey
see Miss
Steph.
Stephanie. Stephanie in the building. Also has a title now. Miss Steph Park.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome.
Yes,
Welcome
it's
to you all.
beautiful.
I
Yeah,
love
Bell
it.
Club. Y'all
Yep.
make sure
Beautiful.
y'all check out her show because she goes into detail. You know, to coin the phrase, every bell has a story. Shout out to the guy, Brandon Guy. Stephanie really breaks down the story, and you might shed a tear, to be honest with you.
Aww.
Mm-hmm.
It makes you happy when you see people just,
Matt.
smile.
Matt.
Hey
Never forget shout
Matt.
out to Matt.
He's
Matt OG, day
definitely
one.
I see him on Twitter defending people who are still mad at that thing that happened on Friday. I don't remember.
what
If y'all remember,
thing?
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't remember. It's
recall
this big thing
thing
that
that happened.
people didn't go outside today and they still talking about it today. I don't know.
Was it electrifying or was it just like
I mean, some
A
people was
bit,
mad
a bit
a bit,
electrifying.
a bit electrifying? All right, story to
just
be
a little
continued.
bit,
Yes, or not, or not. That's the question.
Shout out to everybody coming into chat. Wow, look at all the fans.
Hey
Patrick.
Patrick,
Hey, Patrick.
it's so good to
Everybody
see
coming
you.
in
Hear
four
from
sides of the
you.
ring. Just recently followed us. So thank you for tuning in.
Yeah.
I'm so glad everybody's in the
There's some
chat.
people over there.
Yes, and mind you, Steph was there live because it was in Birmingham, Alabama.
Mhm.
She's
It
the only
was.
person that probably still hasn't recovered.
Wow. Yes.
When I heard Birmingham, I was just like, I hope and pray Steph is in the building.
I know.
And she was. Because, you want to
I
see.
got lucky on Friday.
Yeah. Especially once Bailey did what Bailey did.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
when I
It
was
was
like,
a
oh,
lot.
man, I hope Steph is in
Steph,
there.
put 2 flames in the chat if you still recovering from
Put
that thing
2
that happened.
flames in the chat.
Okay. Let us know, sis, because we got you. We got you. So I'm gonna go. There's so much to cover, but I'm gonna do it light real quick. But we're gonna take I don't want to even take a break. Let's just jump right into it. I'm gonna go over some things that happened last week at NXT. Now, did we watch NXT? Did we get a chance? Did we scoop the opportunity that happened?
Zibble and zabble, zibble and zabble.
That's fine. Well, let's start with the leader. Let's start with my boss, my head honcho, so I could hope to get a raise. Boss, what did you catch on NXT?
I'm laughing because it's so funny hearing you call me that because we're like long friends and like collaborators, but I did catch some of it. I did like the Roxanne match. Okay. I love the tease going on there. I'm interested in what they're doing with Chase U. It's I don't know. It's one of those things where you didn't expect to like it, but now I'm kind of like invested. Like maybe
it was a lot. It was a lot that happened. It was a lot that happened.
A lot of storytelling.
What I like about NXT and what I've always liked about NXT is that they have a good build up. But what they're doing, which is something that the main roster is starting to catch on to, both Raw and SmackDown have both caught on to doing, is that they like to, I want to say, always sprinkle a little bit of what's to come, if that makes any sense. So I like that. So I'm gonna focus on some of the things that's next to come, in my opinion. And one of those things, of course, is GM Ava, her first day. It's only been 2 weeks on the job. Week before this week, she took the job with the blessing hands of the originator of NXT, Mr. William Regal himself, his brainchild, his baby, the Black and Gold brand. And they walked out of Shawn Michaels' office. I know. God bless that man. Thank you, Mr. Regal. We're going to thank him today on Vengeance Day. They walked out of that office and it was decided by Shawn Michaels that she will not only be the new GM of NXT, but the youngest female GM of NXT. And she had a pretty interesting first day with history being made. Stand up for the Black women. I'm just saying she's still Black. She's Samoan, but she Black. Okay. On Black History Month, they did that. So let's give that credit. She's the youngest, and she did have a few trainings. She did help out pick the numbers for the Royal Rumble on SmackDown with Nick Atlas, which I also enjoyed her doing. But it seemed like everybody was stressing. It was stressing homegirl out a little bit. They
It's a
They were
big
stressing her
deal.
out. Yeah, it was a lot going on. You had Lexus King still trying to moose and whizzle her way into a top, whatever he's trying to do on that brand. He was still weaseling his way in. So he walked into the office with a gift, and ironically, Rich Holland was there. So Rich Holland was there, and he decides that he's just gonna cut the line in front of him. So Ava goes, you know what, you two, y'all have a match. So that happened. You had Rich Holland versus Lexus King. Won't go into too much of that. It was more of a squash match. For me, I'm gonna dibble dabble into that because I feel like I said on previous episodes of Watch What Happens NXT, that I feel like they're trying to give Ridge this redemption arc, and it's weird because we're gonna tap into the person that also is having a redemption arc, and they're doing a pretty good job at it. Baron Corbin. I feel like they're trying to give Ridge the same type of sentiment. So you guys tell me what you guys think. As far as Rich Holland, do you think this run of NXT can give him a chance? Do you think we're wasting our time? Like, what do you think is happening?
I'm kind of biased.
Okay.
When it comes to Rich Holland because the whole injury and shit like that. But I do understand like why they bet on him in the first place. So, obviously like he has potential, like he has the power, that they like in guys like him. It's hard to stand out nowadays. So
That's
like
true.
it's like if I could take him or leave him besides everything else. So if he can make this this current run work, then I think this is his chance. If not, then I don't know what you're gonna do with Rich Holland, because he was just on the main roster for a hot second, and now he's back at NXT. So I'm interested to see what he can do with this latest run.
Ooh, you said something strong right there. It's hard to stand out, and the fact like this could be the thing that makes him stand out. I mean, nuclear heat. That's for sure. You turn this in and make it. You could become a heat magnet, and the worst thing that happened is you get no reaction, but he can get reactions and stuff. I think this would be fine. Wealth Warrior says find them kind of bland. Honestly, same here. Everything seems to be general consensus. Like, when you think like nothing that really made me want to see him even when the Brawl and Bruce was together, right? I wanted to see Pete Dunne. I barely wanted to see Sheamus. Like, that was probably the most I enjoyed Sheamus. But Rich Holland was just there. You could have put anybody else in that spot, It's kind of how I felt about Batista and Evolution. So,
oh my god.
But here's the thing. I'm gonna sound so evil, but I had to really grow to like Batista, so I get what he's saying, because I wasn't looking at Batista in Evolution.
And to be fair,
him to catch a stray like that.
But and to be fair, even though like I'm not a huge fan of his, I see it like I saw everything afterwards, and he got better afterwards. But when Evolution was together, you had Triple H, who was the cerebral assassin and everything on top, the number one guy, number one heel. You had Ric Flair, say less, but then you had a young, hungry Randy Orton who just looked like he just walks in, and you just saw everything that he would become. Randy Orton essentially was the LeBron James. He exceeded all expectations that looked hot just based on his look. That's what I don't get from Ridge Holland. It's like Batista was just like, okay, whatever you get, it's gonna be house money. But who knows? He has time. That's what I think being down here gives him time to turn around and do something cool.
Right. And it's funny. I think that in all honesty, this may work. This may work out. Because maybe the issue, and I'm glad that Wade Ellis, first of all, hi honey. I'm glad that he brought this up, because I feel like maybe the issue is that he keeps being the strong arm for other people instead of trying to find what makes him stand out.
Gotcha.
If that makes any sense. Because not like Patricia said, like she said in a way a lot of people feel, all we know of him is what happened. And I feel like that's not him. I feel like there's more to him, but he's always behind other people, or he's always expects to be somebody's backup, or he's always just there. Like, now he has no one. So I want to more see what happens with that. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting for sure.
Speaking of Lexus King, what do you
My
think his
God,
MO is? Uh, Justin,
man, look,
I can't kick
Lexus,
you out this club, okay? Just to remind you. Just
I
you
mean,
saying.
don't like
Lexus King gives me Tiger King fucking vibes. That goddamn
wow,
Carol Baskins is like it's gonna take some time to get used to it.
wow, wow. So I'm the only Lexus King fan here.
No,
No,
I
you're
love,
not. I'm enjoying him.
yes.
I'm enjoying him.
I'm on the
I'm
island of
enjoying
one, but
him.
go ahead.
Because you think about like, all right, first of all, yeah, I know it's funny because matter of fact, this is 3 years, like 2 years ago today, me and Brother Fam had a conversation about being fans of Next Generation Superstars, right? If you were a fan of their parents. So like he wasn't a fan of Ricky Steamboat's his favorite, but he wasn't necessarily a fan of Richie Steamboat. And I was like, guys like Curtis Axel and Brian Pillman Jr., I'm a fan because I was such a fan of their dad. I wanted to see them succeed. And when I first heard of him, first found, start following him on the indies, that's okay. Kid got potential. He's got a cool look. And then he went down under, and I was just like, But him coming to NXT, he made an immediate impact, because he's that annoying little pest. And you just want to see him get smacked in the face. And that's what makes me so interested. Like every time I turn on the TV, I don't need this. He's one of the people, like, honestly, I don't care about his wrestling. I care about the
Right.
character. That's how much he has me invested in the character.
That's interesting. It's interesting you said that because the character is working. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's kind of like he is kind of giving me like Joe from Tiger, like the sleaziness of him. Like he hits on every reporter. He hits
The
on
beard color not
yeah.
matching
No, not
anything
only that,
else.
and the t-shirt, and then he hits on every reporter. He hits on every girl. He like
Mhm.
annoys the crap out of the guys. So it works in a sense, but I'm just trying to see like even him making up that stupid contract, which y'all can all blame him for Giant Lee losing that championship match. I'm just saying because nobody told you go make up your own contract, boy. Like he's skipping the line all the time, and I find it
Mm-hmm.
to be
I
maybe
love it.
he's trying to be king, but also he's trying to be the jester.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
I
way to put
like
it.
that a lot. It must be so much fun for him too to not have to like live up to like his father or anything. It has to be fun to play this completely different, ridiculous ass character.
Right.
Where you really could just have all the fun that you want. And then he's winning matches, it's connecting. I'm a fan. I mean, it gives me those vibes, those Tiger King vibes, but in a good way.
That's I gotta watch
I'm
that.
gonna keep an open mind. I'm gonna be very optimistic. Like I said, it's gonna
Yes,
take a
I
little
agree
time with
with
me.
the Chelsea Green comment. He is very good at character work. And shout out to Chelsea Green because she is too.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be agreeing. Like some people think him and Ridge are the same. I don't know how I see that. I don't know if
No.
I see that. But I do agree with this one. He's trying to make an impact. He can. He's crazy. He is crazy. Something wrong with
Yes,
him.
that's
Mm-hmm.
you right.
Something's up with him for real. Like that I definitely agree with. Something's up with
Remy
him.
trying to come for us about Brian Pillman. Oh man.
So
He's
see, that's the thing that I think he doesn't want. I don't think he wants to be
exactly.
Brian Pillman Jr. He's very much
No.
trying to be. He's very much just trying to be
Right.
him.
Is
He
what's
might be
funny
like
though?
erratic, like that same thread of that erratic character, but I don't think it's not the same. Like he has a whole different name now. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
trying to shed that. And I think he's doing a great job.
And if you like watch his interview with like Chris Van Vliet, he said there's going to be some things that he's going to get just natural genetics, but he didn't know the guy. The most he knows is pretty much the same thing we know. And as somebody who was like Brian Pillman became one of my favorites when he was in WCW and he was flying Brian and he was like calling out Kevin Sullivan, "What up, Booker man?" He wasn't necessarily as a loose cannon, but there was a little bit of characteristics. But it's the same way he said it's the genetics and some of them crazy instincts that he's doing. Like he's more like Pillman that was in the Four Horsemen, which is actually my favorite rendition. Him, Flair, Anderson, and but he's more like that version. But again, he's still very sleazy, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him find his way back. Messing with the main event tonight because that's just the type of person he is. Like you said, in Key, always skipping the line.
I know, right?
Thank you, Remy. Remy doing it for the people that don't know, because there's still people that don't know. Like a lot of people don't know. So we appreciate it.
I know it was all fun and games.
We know.
Definitely.
We love you.
We take nothing personal in this space.
No, because we say a lot of impersonal shit on here anyway. So
yes,
that's a typical Monday at the office.
Also, like a good plug to join us Wednesday nights on Fan Club.
Please do.
We really do. We get up in there on Wednesday nights. So make sure you come through in the comments because we get
up in there. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll be PT today. I just had to smack that out the park.
Okay, you just gotta let it go.
Oh man.
You're the first person I've seen said that. I can't. Thank you for that. I don't know, and this is the last I'm going to talk about Brian Pillman Jr. I like that we're giving him his flowers, even though he's a king. But I don't know. This is one thing I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen. I feel like he should.
Ooh.
No demons.
You know. Yeah.
You can
eventually.
I thought he was in, but yeah, I think he'll be in there.
Yeah.
He's not. Maybe he's not. No, he's not.
He's not. I mean, WrestleMania is in Philly, so.
What that got to do with anything?
Is he from there?
No, Cincinnati.
Or ECW?
He was ECW was a ploy to get the WWF.
It absolutely was.
I mean, Philly, Cincinnati is only like 500-600 miles. I mean, we could just drive that. I don't
know. I hope they don't put a WrestleMania in Cincinnati.
A lot of other things happen with a lot of crazy things besides that happened on NXT on Ava's first day, including the fact that she couldn't keep two people away from each other. But I'm going to save that conversation for our predictions talk, because them two not staying away from each other is the reason why they have a match tonight at NXT. But I'm going to skip over the reigns a little bit. I want to talk about another woman who's trying to take reign in NXT. And we're going to talk about the queen of NXT, Miss NXT herself, Miss Ariana Grace. Now, as you guys all know, Ariana Grace, she at first was just a regular competitor. She returned, though, after a knee injury. She returned as Miss NXT, the queen of NXT. And she was also in that first women's breakout tournament, couldn't compete because of said knee injury. And now she's in the second round. She makes an impact on the second NXT women's breakout tournament. And since then, she's just trying to make her impact overall. She's trying to do her queenly duties, but it's come to dismay to a lot of people. And I'm wondering why, because I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Like I'm thoroughly enjoying her. I'm enjoying her spunk and charisma and her self-motivation talk, and the fact that she's telling people the things that I've been telling people for a long time, to use soap when they're in contact with water. I appreciate everything that she's been doing. That promo was excellent. If you have not seen that promo, I will read to you because it was just funny. Like, she's trying to basically help everyone, and she's tried to help Roxanne, and that got her behind beat until the refs reversed the decision. She won that match, and then she had a match with Fallon Henley after interfering in Fallon Henley's business by giving Gwen Sinclair some advice. But again, then Fallon has that thing now with Metaphors, Lash Legend, and Chikara, so they interfered in that match, and Ariana won again. So is Ariana Miss NXT or is she Miss Lucky? What do we think?
Ooh, I think she's both, because I'm invested in what she's doing, and you have to stand out. So the Miss NXT thing, you haven't really seen that before. So the way she's doing that, and it's like effective. Like, she's winning her matches and stuff like that. I didn't know she was Santino's daughter. Is that true?
Yes, she is. She's Santino Morella's daughter.
So, nice. She's taking advantage of the spot that she's in, and I love it. I think it's hilarious.
Another fun fact about her, she actually has a degree in biology.
Ooh, love it.
Trained in Taekwondo and Muay Thai. So I don't think she's anything to play with. She's sugar and she's spice to me.
She has a lot of like bonus features.
She's a well-rounded person.
Superstar, right? Exactly. I
Yeah.
love that. I love that.
She adds to. There used to always be this thing where people were worried about not enough women being on a roster, but now we're more in a place of if one woman goes, who's taking that spot. And I think she's one of them. I think if we were to push the Tiffany, well, we have pushed. Congratulations, Tiffany Stratz. She's now on SmackDown, by the way. If we were to push the Tiffany Stratz or the Kiana James or the Roxanne Perez's of the world to the main roster, or the Electra Lopez, it looks like she's also possibly going to be on SmackDown now. If we were to push them to the next level, I feel like Ariana Grace is one of those people that could take the spot. What do we think on that?
Yeah, I mean, you have a roster that you could really have. You know, we've seen NXT throw 3 women's matches on back to start the show, and you're like, wait a minute, am I dreaming? But you could really have a whole night of it being just women's matches and not miss a single beat because they're all getting stories, plus they're all, you know, vying for titles, whether it's the world title or even the tag titles when it's in the picture, you know. So this is yeah, it's a lot of spots, but they have a lot of women, but they're utilizing most of them.
Great. Justin, do you think there's enough storyline being told as somebody being the queen of NXT, or do you think it's just an ulterior motive for her to reign with a specific gold belt in mind? Or do you think she could do without the belt?
I think she could do without the belt for right now, just because I want to see where this gimmick goes. This is one that actually does have my attention. I like what she's doing with the Miss NXT. I want to see where this goes and how this develops. Brian put it perfectly. That NXT women's division is stacked. I got to go back to the time of the 4 horsewomen when Charlotte and Sasha and Becky got called up, but then you still have Bayley. You had Asuka. You had Nia Jax. You had Emma. You had Alexa. And you still had like a plethora of... Summer Rae, you still had a plethora of women just kicking ass down there in NXT, and they're just in a great spot right now. That's like, Tiffany, salute to you, going to SmackDown. Roxanne, your time is coming soon, but there's so many spots that you could fill with that, and there's just so many women that are hungry for that. And Ariana is one of those. It's like, yo, you got my attention. Let's see what you do with this.
I think it's interesting. A lot of people in the comments, this is the comment that sticks out to me the most. She's just like her father. She has sports entertainment down to a science. That I 1000% agree with, because the fact that I even remember a segment on NXT where she went to speak with Ava before Ava became regular GM, and she has like a bruise on her cheek, and she's speaking to her like she's a queen, trying to make sure that she can handle everything. And it's manipulative. Like I call it Roman speak. Because Roman's the same way. Roman's like, I'm coming to do this because I'm trying to help you. But it backfired because then she got put into a match with Roxanne.
Oh, so Perez. She's like a sassy savage.
Not too sassy. She's a subtle sassy. She's a subtle sassy, if that makes any sense. Because even when she's trying to talk, like she was trying to break up a fight at one point between Electra, Lola, and Kalani, and Roxanne got involved. And, you know, Carmen Petrovich was just like, girl, shut the hell up. And Rihanna was like, just doing my job. Like, you know, and then it's just, people are getting tired of her already. Like, I feel like her and Lex King in the same boat, but I can accept Ariana Grace, if that makes any sense. Same. A lot of comments. Yes, Meg Special Artist. I'm glad Rakarsha agrees. You know what, though? I'm a quick sound off real quick. I'm mad at them I will stay forever mad with them and Wendy Chu, because before 2.0 came out, Wendy Chu was something else. Wendy Chu was traditional dark. I think she was like a myth off of like a traditional Chinese dark myth. She had like a completely different gimmick. And then when Vince and Bruce Blanchard took over the brand, they repackaged her in them stupid onesie pajamas with a goddamn pillow. So I'm mad.
I like the onesie.
Oh wow! I do like both. I didn't know that. That's so interesting.
She was like a dark. She was kind of like Is anybody familiar with Abaddon from NXT? Like that, but with the hair all the way wet and completely dark. Not a word, just a finisher. It was her gimmick when she was on the indies, and then when they packaged 2.0, they did that shit. I still ain't forgive Vince and Bruce for that, because y'all foul. they didn't need to do that. They just needed to work around. They just needed to work around what she already had, but they couldn't do that. So I'm hoping that Wendy Chu does come back soon. She also had a knee injury. Like a lot of girls have knee injuries. Like So Ruko, I hope she's back. So Ruka, sorry, that she coming back too. She's coming back from an injury. I know a lot of people were asking what was going on with Danny Palmer. I just found out that Danny Palmer had double hip surgery.
Ooh.
So it's gonna take some time for her to come back as well.
Yeah.
In case y'all didn't know, y'all can look at, she posted a very inspirational post on social media. She's just recovering from that. So that's gonna take some time. So and then of course we know my girl Cobra Jade, she out, y'all. But she's still in the gym. She posted today. She's still in the gym doing her thing, but she's out with a torn ACL up to a year almost. What do we think?
Back too.
Yes. What do we think of these injuries?
Here's the thing, though, right? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm good. Go ahead, Brian.
The thing about the injuries, because it's NXT and because it's an everflow of talent that goes to the main roster, by the time, say, Cora Jade and all the other ladies get back, the ones who are just coming from level up to NXT are going to have veterans to work with. Well, NXT veterans to work with. So it's not like a thing where, because at the end of the day, it's still developmental, right? So it's not like going to the main roster where you can kind of be forgotten about and it's like, oh man, how do I regain that momentum? These ladies still learning themselves and figuring things out, and the audience is still getting used to it. So by the time they come back, you imagine if, let's just say for the sake of talking, by the time Cora Jade come back, Kalani Jordan world champion, because like Roxanne Perez and Lyra Valkyrie are already on main roster, right? And then Kalani Jordan, soon as she like wins the title, boom, gets attacked by Cora Jade. That's instantly a main event feud because Cora Jade already been almost there. So it's bad, but it's also it's a huge opportunity for the ones stepping up, but then they'll have fresh talent to work with.
And as far as the injuries, it just sucks because like you think like in this type of industry, all it takes is just one wrong landing. You take a bump wrong, you plant wrong, and it's very easy to tear an ACL like that or have like a meniscus or something like that. And unfortunately, you know, with the women, it there's like a little bit more of like a higher risk compared to like the guys when it comes to like those type of injuries where all it just takes is that one wrong bump and it's like boom, torn ACL, and that's 9 months. It's just like damn, because not only do you gotta sit down for a while, but you know that's a spot for someone else. And like we said, like NXT is very deep. But then I can't wait to see what she does when she comes back. I just hope she's just 100% because that really sucked for Cora.
It would.
You muted.
Forgive me, y'all. I'm new to this. Even when I read Danny Palmer's post and I saw it said double hip surgery, I was like, oh
yeah,
and she's one of the
rough.
She and Riley Osborne, the same damn person. Like they both flipping and dipping and diving. And I'm like, I was excited for her because to me, she stuck out to the most during that breakout tournament because on Level Up, she does great by herself. And she was paired with Sol Ruko before she got injured. But she's amazing by herself. So to not see her after that breakout tournament kind of shook me. So I seen Brinley Reese a lot more. I was like, I wonder what's going on with Danny Palmer. And I saw the post and I was like, oh my God. But I mean, listen, ladies, if Nakia Lyons and Ariana Grace can bounce back, there's always going to be room for those ladies because I feel like they give the women a lot more attention on that brand too, to where you can literally have 4 matches in one night and have a whole bunch of men segments and people still tune in. So I feel like even if they were to come back to NXT, even Cora Jade, if she were to, and listen, I know people think it's a curse. I'm not going to put on the Punk comment because I think what Punk did for her was very sweet. For him to visit her because he's been there. He's been an injured superstar. A lot of people giving their motivation to these girls. I love it because you don't normally see the light at the end of the tunnel or the silver lining. You don't see that. But I feel like with them doing that, they are boosting them to be like, listen, don't give up. Don't think this is the end at all. I don't know who this is. If you are a Facebook user, put your name in the chat. If somebody's trying to troll my boss, you will be kicked out of the club.
Oh yeah, it's coming. Cora Jade is definitely winning the title. It's definitely
Oh yeah.
coming.
If they can give, even if they do what they did with Indy Hartwell. India Hartwell was one of the originals, one of the last ladies left on that brand to never win the NXT
Mm-hmm.
Women's Championship. Even if they do it that way, I feel like they're gonna give it to Cora. I feel like even tonight's match is an ode to her because she did
Mm.
deserve that next spot.
Mm.
I feel like she did. Even in the promo, and we're going to talk about it a lot more later on in the show, she deserved that, in my opinion. That was her spot. That was her promo. Because she's, and them listening to, we'll get into it, but I'm listening to it and I'm thinking, that's something that she would say because that's something
Mm.
Yeah.
she completely understands. Um, yeah, that's too much of a coincidence. I ain't talking about none of that. Uh, I don't know much about that either, so we're gonna move on from that. Do I think there's a flaw? Yeah, as somebody who's had a knee injury, you can still work out with ACL. It's just mostly upper body stuff.
Mm.
Mm.
Like I had to like
Good to
my
know.
I
triceps don't
mean,
move because of it.
Andre,
Oh.
they could have one of the greatest strength and training programs ever. All it takes is just remember these are wrestlers. They are bumping. Some of them do high
Mhm.
flying stuff. All it takes is just one wrong landing. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
I go back to like when the New Day was doing their podcast, or like Edge and Christian, where they've talked about the injuries that they've gotten. And I remember like Edge, for example, was one that's like all of my major injuries were never like some of these high flying like spots that you would think, like a
Be that
TLC2 or
brand
stuff like that.
push.
It was usually the stuff that I'd done that he did like a million times, and that happened to be the millionth time, and all of a sudden there went the Achilles, there went the ACL, there went this or
Mm.
that. So it could just be
Mm.
something that they're doing. Like again, the strength and training program could be perfect. All it just takes is one
Right.
bad spot, and all of a sudden, boom.
Right. And I think they're being more cautious with injuries too. Like I feel like the doctors are more like let's be safer than sorry as opposed to what injuries wrestlers would work through usually. Now they're
Mhm.
just like,
right.
nope, just stay off of it
Yeah,
for a few weeks and just come back because it's not,
Mhm.
it's not that serious anymore to like we'd rather you take care of yourself than make this live show. Like
right. And even like you look at, it's not just the youth. A lot of people just think that it's them being younger. Like Charlotte Flair's out, and we
right.
see we get the
And
gift of
this is
seeing
the first
Charlotte's
real like injury that she's had too.
right, and
She
that's and
has, but with Charlotte, that was always one that was like every time she would do the moonsault to the outside, I'm just like, catch her or like land perfectly because all it just takes is just that one wrong landing. I was always afraid that she was gonna
yeah.
blow out her knee, and I lo
I
and
mean,
behold,
and
but
then you
not
also
like
think,
that.
and you also think about the fact that if we're going to take it all the way back, Triple H blowing his quad out, doing his regular finisher.
Finishing the match.
It
Jesus.
happens. It
It
happens.
happens.
And all we can do is hope.
Unfortunately, if you wrestled, it's bound to happen where you're gonna suffer a significant injury at some point. It just happens to everyone. No one goes unscathed.
No one. But there's just, I have hope for them. I have more hope for the ladies than I do for men for some reason. Um,
That's
And
just
there's
and
a
in
on a
lot
life.
on
to
a
say
on a
that.
That's
great
just in
note,
life.
on a great note of it, because the medicine is a lot better now, it's easier to bounce back from an ACL injury than it was before. Like if this
Hmm.
was a 90s, that could be career ender. Now it's just like, nah, we'll see you in about 6 to 9 months and you'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Um, that's a good question.
Mm.
Mm, mm. I would say Cora just because of how hot she is. Like like just everyone is wanting her to win.
So
Oh, go
here's
ahead.
my mental. I see Cora teaming up with somebody and being the mean girl version of Chelsea Green with the tag team title someday.
Mm,
Even that could be a start. Because I
I
think
love
Hale
the
has a lot
story.
of energy, but I don't know if she's champion material yet. I think she's great hype wise. Championship wise, I don't know yet. I don't know.
Yeah, it's still just a
Eh,
start too.
yeah.
Yeah. I love her energy.
Mhm.
I don't know about championship yet.
I'm not touching that.
Okay. All right now. Um so we're going to child. They pissing me off with Gigi Dolan. I don't know what they're doing with Gigi Dolan. They keep
I'm
they
so like, what is happening here?
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Like she's same thing. I mean, I feel like with the indie darlings for some reason, they
Mhm.
struggle with this
Indie
format
dark.
because they have a lot more of a longevity is learning as to what WWE is, not just wrestling and sports entertainment. Whereas they can take somebody from a college graduate like Kalani Jordan or Tiffany Strat and teach them their formula. I've said that a million times in the past. It's always going to be hard. And Punk even talks about in his documentary that it was hard for him to understand what WWE wanted because he had been stuck to one formula. Like all he knew was wrestling and promo talk. He didn't know he needed to have a character or have good in-ring gear or be a certain size. It's harder for them to learn. And that's what people don't get with indies. You only going out there, you wrestling, you can create a persona, sure. But there's a lot more that they look for when it comes to WWE. It's a lot. And I think people need to be patient with that. So maybe with Gigi Dolan not being with Toxic Attraction anymore, maybe that's what's happening.
It didn't feel like the payoff didn't feel like it hit the way it was supposed to. If you really look at it, like the moment of the barbershop was great.
Right.
Unfortunately, it kind of took on a lot of the same things that happened afterwards. Like Sean and Marty didn't have this. Like when you think about them two, you might think about when Marty rolled Sean up and shocked the world, taking the Intercontinental title from him, and then Sean getting it back. That's it. You don't think about this big grand payoff match that the two had, and that's what it kind of seems like.
And that's how I feel too. I feel like I don't know. It bothers me because I feel like there's a lot more Jace can be doing. Maybe she needs to change. And I keep doing this. Every time I say somebody need to change their character, they change it and become 10 times better because it happened with Braun Breaker. I feel like she's another one that needs a change. And listen, when I said it about Braun Breaker, if you follow us on Fan Club, if you heard what I said about Braun Breaker, I said all he needed to do is turn bad. That was it. Like the side-eye gear is cute. The I'm doing Steiner runs in the ring like my daddy. I'm like a dog. All that worked. But until he's told them people, I don't care what you rednecks have to say about me. I don't care who I step on to get to the top. Look at him. Now him and the Wolf Dogs about to go in and win this. The Wolf Dogs. I'm telling you. But look at what it's done for him. Like it was stale. But he was running Ramshot. He was finally getting noticed.
And now he feels like a big deal as far as a free agent.
Yeah, like
it's like he's the hottest. Yeah, the hottest signing coming out of college.
Yeah, like
as opposed to
he's like a young Patrick Mahomes right now.
You just had to bring him up. You could have chose any other quarterback in the league.
A young who?
I have to root for him.
Did I just hear Mahomes?
You see,
young Kermit the Frog.
Young Kermit the Frog.
That's what he looked like.
Oh
I'm
my
here.
God.
Hey, Bert, I'm here.
No, they trying to take out. They trying to say the fade, a haircut we've been wearing for so long.
That's why I said Mahomes.
Is a Kelsey. You got him, the guy who threw him the ball. Man, anyway, NXT,
that side of, and let me tell you, that side of Kansas City ain't that dark. So let me just tell you right there.
Brian, breathe.
752.
Speaking of Gigi Dolan, we're gonna jump right into so I cannot have Brian have a panic attack on my show. Yeah, I don't want that. You count to 5, count to 10 backwards.
I didn't mean it.
Brian doesn't need 3; he needs 5.
3 ain't enough, man. I need
3
5.
ain't enough.
Shout out to Biggie, former NXT World Champion.
Hey, shout out to. I'm sorry to cut the traction off of Gigi Dolan for a little bit. I'm also going to jump into the person that left her behind. I'm talking about JCJ, leader of the new Chase U. Why do I say this now? We have been following this for months. We found out that Mr. Chase has been funneling the funds needed to fund the school. He's been funneling the funds. He's been pulling a Bernie Madoff.
FanDuel nonstop.
He was Bernie. He tried to Madoff with the money for the school. So what happened was we found out, and it's ironic, we found out that the family had been funding the funds and treating them like they was Tony Soprano in the situation, right? So we found out that it wasn't enough and that he had gambled on the money and it's not enough to keep the school open. He's even tried working without, he played dice without the mud, which was dumb because you don't play dice with guys in the alley if you never played dice before. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
He's been trying to get the money up, no luck, no foul. So they had to almost close Chase U. And Chase U has been around since the dawn of 2.0. But in the midst of all that, ironically, we talk about longevity. JCJ also decided to make friends with Thea Hale after losing to Tiffany Strat the second time because she saw something in Thea Hale. She said, Thea, you don't need Chase U. You need to be your own person. We're gonna make you a grown ass woman because right now you're acting like a girl. That's not here nor there. Now, what started happening in that was, I guess, before the branch off needed to happen, JC actually decides to not only attend Chase U to be closer to Thea, but now she's inserted herself in a situation to try and help out the school to stay open. And it looked like all was lost because they even tried to enter in the Dusty Cup to try and win the money or whatever was needed to keep the school open. That didn't work. They lost in the final round. So now we get to the funeral of Chase U, which I really enjoyed. I liked the moments. I liked all the little things they had. Even seeing past NXT superstars, like you did see Obafemi, you did see Kalia Jordan. They were former. It looked like Chase U alumni. I love seeing all that. They even wore black, which I thought was hilarious. I like that they're involved with Ozzy Osbourne more. I enjoy seeing him. I think he's one of the futures that's going to go up against the. I think he's one of the futures that could be up against hopefully a Cedric Alexander or a Santos Escobar or a Joaquin Wa. All the high flyers. I feel like he's in the high fly crew when he leaves JCU. I feel like when he graduates from there, that's what he's going to be. But at the last minutes of time, we've seen it through NXT. Shout out to NXT Anonymous for showing us that JC had one up her sleeve. She decided to start a calendar for the ladies of Chase U and all the beautiful girls that are on there. Just for the name of a few, we have Miss Preston Person, who is a former Life University wrestler, who is an NIL signing. We have Miss Kiani, who is a qualified nurse and also an NIL signing. A lot of NIL girls. You had, of course, Carmen Petrovich, who managed to take. I want to see these pictures first of all. If anybody's there, like Nikki, if you there, and you could just like give a sneak peek of this calendar.
I want to see.
I want this calendar.
Justin needs my brother needs a calendar. I need a calendar for a friend. The friend might also be me. I'm just putting that out there. But it's a way to save Chase U. They're gonna sell the calendar tonight to try and raise the funds. So we're gonna see what happens that. Now, my question is, we thought that JC was done with being in factions. So what do you think her MO is here? And Justin's giving me and Brian's giving me the thumbs up because I finally learned how to say factions. I don't get attacked this time and saying fractions. But Justin, what do you think is JCJ's MO?
I honestly don't know, but once I will give credit where credit is due. I didn't know where they were going with this Chase U stuff until that swerve with the calendar, and I was like, yo, I'm reinvested in Chase U because I felt like something was missing. It's kind of like ran its course, but now, and it's not just because it's beautiful women. It's not just because it's a calendar, but it's like it needed something. And adding JC to this, as possibly the leader of the new Chase U is like, yo, you kind of like pumped some life into this. I have no clue where this is going to end up with, but you got my full attention.
Brian, do you think that JCJ can be trusted?
No, but that's the beauty of it, because everything Justin said, like you care now. But can she be trusted? Did we just barbershop? So no, I don't trust her, but I'm excited to see where this goes.
Patricia, do you agree with our brother Joshua Gershaw in the chat? We're gonna talk after the stream because him and I have been laughing. We've been calling JC the new leader of the pink, except it's called the red. So
down in the valley where the
crooked letter Humpback I.
I need P Valley back.
Yes, do we?
Yeah, I never watched the show.
What?
I know. I know, but no, you can't trust that hoe. We already seen her portray. You already seen her portray homegirl, and she's doing the same thing. That's it. But I am so intrigued to see how they like reveal it.
I think it's interesting to see her soften, but I have to agree with the masses. I don't trust it. like she seemed like when Chase was thanking her, she inhaled and she was like, I feel like, you know what it is, and I'm gonna give it to you straight. I think she misses being a part of something dynamic. And I think she saw Chase U. And I think at first her plan was to rebuild that dynamic with Thea. And I think she saw that Thea couldn't let them go. So she said, you know what? Let me try and weasel my way in. And then in the end of it, she found herself in love with the dynamic of being in a group again. That's what I think is really going on.
Yeah. And she needs it to be mixy, and that's why she's fucking doing all that shit.
I don't know. Y'all let me know when these calendars coming out.
I want one now.
I want a calendar now. I need to see what this looks like. Is it on WWE Shop? Somebody let us know in the comments. It's not fractions, it's factions. I know. Y'all don't need to make fun of me. maybe she's gonna keep the money and try and buy the university herself. It's not going to turn into Bishop Sycamore. I'm done. If y'all haven't watched that,
maybe it is fractions because it's time to multiply and divide the university. You know,
it is.
You're multiplying with the calendar and the ladies, and you may have to divide some people and subtract. Simple math.
What Justin said.
Yes, I did Chase U math.
Do we think she's going to turn Duke against the school? That's a good question.
Yeah,
she's capable of it. Yes,
I think Duke's wheels are already spinning for some reason.
Is that possible?
I think once they took his trophy, he saw the light. Y'all know he loved him some trophies. He was Sue Sylvester in that trophy. It went everywhere he went. He probably showered with it. And then they tried to take it into repossession. You know he wasn't feeling that. It was his Goldie. Like it was with Ciampa. It was his Goldie, and they tried to take that away from him.
It was.
But we'll see where it goes tonight. I feel like with so much of a short match card, they might show us what's going on with Chase U after the calendar sale. So let's see what happens.
You know what that means when them short match cards? That means there's more time to cook with these stories.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I'm gonna run through the draft real quick. We also saw that Noam Dar and his crew of Metaphor created some havoc with the locker room. He's still your he's still your Heritage Cup champion right now. This time his next opponent happened to be Von Wagner, who trained hard and heavy to win this cup, but I don't think he realized what kind of match it was. So that Heritage Cup match went into a 2 decision based on Noam Dar. So he retained this past Tuesday and he lost in front of them kids. He said, to hell with these kids, I'm gonna taunt them anyway. And Bob Wagner attacked him. So we don't know what's gonna go on with that tonight. The one interesting thing I want to plug in real quick with Noam Dar, he's picked up some steam. He became North American champion. My apologies. He became the Heritage Cup champion when he was in NXT UK. This is his second reign as North American champ. See, I keep doing that. I'm thinking about the North American Championship because of
Heritage Cup.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about my Nigerian brother. My apologies.
Think World Cup, but Heritage.
I ain't thinking about that damn cup. I'm talking about Noam Dar. He has beat pretty much everybody. Just to name a few of his opponents: Miles Osborne, Chad Gable, Jensen Briggs, a couple of people he's beat. It's actually quite impressive. He's only been champion, I want to say, the last 6 months for the second time. He had a very good feud with Nathan Frazier, who Nathan Frazier actually took that cup off of him. And he's had a good run so far. So who do you guys think could be a possible opponent for him?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
He's ran through a lot of people.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm plead the fifth.
Yeah, I'm
Justin?
trying to think about it. I'm like, he's beating a lot of quality people. I don't want to see anyone from the main roster come down and take it off of him, but I don't know if someone's on NXT ready to take that Heritage Cup from him now. So it may be something that maybe at WrestleMania, but then you got to build that like now. But I don't know. I don't know.
You know what's interesting to me is still one of the like we had so many good predictions when it came to, you know, Obafemi, but with him, who's someone who's just as slim and smaller in size and with a faction that can really help him out, that's been helping him out. Even this is the first time I think we're all stomping the decision of who could take this cup away from him.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. I think also it's in the mind, it's on the numbers game when it comes to the Heritage Cup Championship. Like he's like for him to get Jakara and Lash on his side.
Yeah.
That's a game changer. I think, and if you notice, even with the whole, and I said it with the whole Jensen Briggs thing, that wasn't even enough to get them the cup. So it's interesting. I don't know. I don't know if it's going. I mean, I enjoy his segments from Metaphor. I enjoy them during Halloween Havoc when 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 the cup got stolen and they had to go through the haunted house to get it back.
Yeah.
So he kept it in a locked cage. Like he treats like he's another one. That Heritage Cup is Goldie. Like that's his Goldie. It shouldn't go nowhere. It shouldn't that's inappropriate. It shouldn't go nowhere. It should be at his a lot of Chase U comments. I'm late to the party. The Rock is not taking the cup off of him. Scratch that. No, we've had enough. We're not starting this in this conversation. We're not starting that in this talk.
No, because what I've seen on social media today, y'all taking this to like another level. Just forewarning, you do know them alphabet boys can pull up IP addresses, and you ain't trying to get on their bad sides. Watch what you say.
No warning. Just let them
wrestling.
No, just let them do it. WrestleMania season right around the corner. Let's see who talk with their mouth outside.
I love how emotionally charged everyone is. It just makes me more excited about me.
Let's keep it a stack. Some of you that talk on Twitter wouldn't say nothing in public. So I want you to keep that same energy. And I want you to see your favorite person that you like to talk so much about. Like, I know me. If Brown Breaker would have come to me and say, hey, you call me Brownie Breaker, I'm like, I'm gonna ask you, yeah, because what tan you using? I know people that use tan, black people tan. Some of us like to spray tan. It hides my KP. You know, I get shade bumps. I need to hide it. What kind of tan you using? Because if I use yours, you're not gonna see me with it.
And smile. He's a nice guy.
He seems like a sweetheart.
He probably look at you and smile.
Like, come on, like, but some of y'all comments, y'all would piss y'all pants.
Damn.
Let's be real. Y'all, it would stream. Because some of you think the keyboard is the power. It would stream down the leg and create a puddle. Because some of y'all think the keyboard is the power. It's not. So stop. And secondly, about y'all, oh, I'm not coming to WrestleMania now. Guess what? It's halfway sold out. The club seats are already gone in 2 pairs. So some of y'all are capping. But y'all can keep capping so I can get my day.
Yeah, then give me your damn tickets.
Give me your ticket, especially if it's a floor riser. Because I'm still not.
Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick
about it. Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about it probably this Tuesday, but see who could take the Heritage Cup off Noam Dar. Because Patricia, nobody seems to know who's next. We don't have
they got that on.
That's what I love about NXT. It's like they just be building up everybody slowly but surely, and then when they have just like Obafemi, like he feels like he came out of nowhere, but he really didn't. Like they've been cooking him. He's been in the oven, and then now he's done.
He's freshly cooked. He's freshly squeezed.
So he better keep that championship tonight. Oh wait, I'll save that for later.
Fun fact: did y'all know that the homie from WWE told me this? That where was we at last week? The dome, the Tropicana Field. It used to smell like oranges because back in the day, the Rays they would spray oranges like a big celebration.
Oh,
so they said he was like it stunk.
They spray oranges.
This is a nice story about a fruit smell. And you're
fresh
like
oranges. Well, just
Oranges are sticky. I don't want
he
to
was
smell
working for the
orange.
opposing team. So when you
Oh.
got to go to the event and you always come in, it's like, oh, here, this go again. So it probably did smell good at some point, but then afterwards it's settled
You
in.
go home to your wife. Why are you always smelling like a fruit?
Can you imagine if you worked
A
there?
little rotten now.
Like, why this
Yeah.
gnat always around? Why are you bringing gnats in the house with you?
Mm.
Looking like a
Speaking of
walking
gnats,
bottle of Sunny D.
speaking of bugs,
Uh-huh.
looks like the friendship that was between the two Latina mommies of NXT came to a screeching halt as we saw the breakup
Ooh.
of Electra Lopez and the women's breakout tournament winner Lola Vice. Now, it seemed like to me this is going to be brewing. This is about to happen
Mm-hmm.
because the minute that you saw that girl's face twitch up when Electra said we should cash it in for a WWE Women's Tag Team, and Lola's looking at her like,
That was funny.
That was funny.
Nah, fam. Wait, did you really
I'm
see
about
him?
to
what I
say
do?
she
No, it looked
rose, and
like,
that was a
yeah,
hell of a shot to the freeze on.
it
She was just like,
was.
She was like, I was like, Lola basically said, like, I don't do groups. What's wrong with you? But basically,
Mhm.
long story short, they had a battle royale, and we thought that the girls was going to partner together to try and get this, maybe give it to Electra, and Lola decided to do one on herself and eliminate her former manager. Now, the interesting thing that happened with that was that Electra kind of aided in her getting eliminated, and they went out to a brawl and they had a match because at Supernova sessions, Lola called Electra a leech. And I had my disagreements with that because you don't call my girl, my birthday twin from New Jersey, the La
Ooh.
Madrina of La Fantasma, La de Gala Fantasma, a leech.
Mhm.
She's La
A
Madrina.
leech.
She's not a leech. She's the queen. So I'm gonna talk to my other brother from the 5% Latino side of my family, Justin. Do you
Mm.
think this was the bomb that needed to explode to make these girls finally realize they're better apart than they are together?
I mean, this is the bomb that was
Ooh.
necessary, but we didn't need this at the Latino Coalition when they're fucking throwing chancletos at each other. Like,
Chancletas.
come on, like Lola, Electra, but at the same time, we could see like this was coming to a head to where they just need to get in a ring and just scrap. But
Mm-hmm.
as someone that, the Latino delegation, we don't support this brown on brown violence, especially when it's Cuba and Puerto Rico, where it's like now I gotta take Electra's side
Mhm.
because
No,
now
do not
now you're
support brown
dividing.
on brown violence.
And it
Yeah,
seemed
now we
it
gotta get United Nations involved and shit like that because now y'all want to take this like fucking outside the country, but like
That's why
I'm
she
here
went
for
to
all
the
of
roster.
this.
but
Especially
now
what?
she's
Go ahead.
say it again.
No, it says that why she just went to the roster so they wouldn't have to really fully duke it out.
Yeah, but
Well,
then
she's
now she
duking it
fucking
out
with
with
Zelina
Zelina.
too. It's just now it's like was it fraction on fraction violence over there between Legato and LWL? Just like
It's
it's like, bruh.
Latino violence.
No
It,
offense, but y'all been watching black on black crime and wrestling all the time. It's time for us to
That's a
see some
fact.
Latino
That's
on
a fact.
Latino, like
And then
in
when you
groups,
think
not
of
just in Eddie versus Ray. Or no, let us sit back and watch it for a change.
I mean,
and,
fair. And then you throw in what was it Karrion Cross and AOP? That's like, yeah, like our adopted Latinos with our other
Yeah.
Latinos. It's just like, bro, I'm just trying to eat my damn chalupa. I'm trying to have my pastelillo in peace
Mm-hmm.
with my coffee. And y'all just fucking throwing chairs and people and like Selena's doing shit off this, Electra's doing that off this, and now Lola wants to bring it. It's like, bro, can we all just get along? It's February. I know it's Black History Month, but like our month's coming soon.
Latino Heritage Month is coming up next. I need to get it together by then for
Yeah, I
Justin.
was gonna say
All
y'all get
right,
y'all.
get it together for Justin at least. Do y'all best, please.
No, it's because then the main event, if they go back to Puerto Rico for a PLE, talk about a
Oh,
main
that was one of the
event
best
or a
ones.
semi-main event.
God, I'm there. Fuck this. What I gotta do to get over there? Do I gotta
Pecado.
scam people like Chase You? Like,
Just don't forget your friends when you do it, because we all want to go.
I don't know. That'll be like party of like
Word.
what 7?
I'll pay for the hotel. I want to be on a rooftop pool somewhere near the beach.
Oh, I trust Justin.
Somewhere.
He'll get us. He'll take care of us very well.
Hmm. Now, what I like to think about cram now. We got the mob versus them going against the hood. Like we got we got a lot of crime going on. So I think it's very interesting though. My question too to the group is, do we think Lola's ready to cash in that contract? And if so, when? Stand delivers right around the corner.
I want to see what happens after. I don't want to see her necessarily rush and do it. But then again, see, we'll get into predictions later. I do think Roxanne got some more time with the cook with the title, get the title and cook with it. But then I can see Lola being the person.
I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, now whether she wins it tonight, we'll see. But I think there's I think there's something right there.
Well, regardless of what Roxanne does, it's like I want to see Lola wait. Like everyone's like, why don't you cash in immediately or do this immediately? Everyone kind of wants things like now instead of just like, yo, let it cook. Let's let it marinate. Let it go in the oven and simmer a while before we pull it out and actually like eat the food. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see where this is going and let's see how Lola progresses before she's got that. Let her hold on to that for a minute.
Right.
Ain't no rush.
I agree.
You know what's crazy? I feel like we were paying attention to Lola Vice. We haven't been paying attention to her potential. She's MMA trained. She obviously has the attention. Listen, if shaking your rear derriere on Instagram gets you places without getting you fired in that company, I think you're okay. You win in my book, hands
and she's
down.
in incredible shape. I would show as well. Like
her in that jumpsuit, I was like, I suddenly don't want that ice cream bar anymore. Like, hands down, goals. But I feel like we're not giving her enough credit where it's due because how she started with Elektra. I feel like now that she's not going to have Elektra, we will get a chance. Like we said, she's one of the newbies that can step up after the breakout tournament and literally fill in the spots for the girls who are about to go. So I feel like we need to give more of a see by herself and see what happens, especially with she still has a contract in her hand. We can't discount the fact that contract. Like, she's not Oba. She didn't say, I'm going to do it now. She said, I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
So let's see. These comments were on fire with the Elektra comment. A lot of people wanted her to win that match. I was one of them. Like, I really was hoping she would win that match. I was hoping for it too. She's feeling. Listen, Queen. Hopefully, the rumor is that Queen of the Ring and King of the Ring might come back. So let's see what happens.
I'm here for it.
Let's see what happens with that. Down. But I do like the fact that Elektra is back with Santos Escobar. I like that.
Me too.
I think it worked so well. I think it meshed very well. I think her being with Angel Garza and Herboto, I think that works even better because they're all good talents. Yeah, I just think it makes more sense for her to go there, and then she'll have her time to shine slowly on the main roster that way. Yeah. I think that's what they see in her.
100%.
I love the factions, and I love that we're having more women joining the guys in the factions, which adds to more storytelling and more things that you can do. Perfect example is look what Judgment Day does with Rhea Ripley, where she can get involved in men's and women's stuff and how that can carry over and the momentum that Rhea's banked off of that.
Yeah. And it's associated from that, like, if they do decide to turn, like, WWE's trying to be worldwide now, right? Say they want to throw a pay-per-view in Puerto Rico again, or in Spain, or in another Spanish country. I like Backlash for the civic purpose. I love Backlash PLE, not only because of Bad Bunny, it's because they managed to involve everybody.
Yeah.
Shit. Throw up PLE in the Dominican Republic and watch them platanos fly and shit like that. Like, why are they throwing bananas? It's like, if you
why are we throwing bananas? No, because you want to hit you in the face, honey. Platanos is hard.
Platano power.
You ever try to cook one? You ever try to cook one when it's not ripe yet? Child, I don't even like picking them up in the supermarket. I love how they taste, but child, don't hit me with that. I'd rather you hit me with a tomato than hit me with a plantain. I'm just saying.
You want to know?
I'm just saying. So with that being Savio Vega.
We never. I don't think we had ever seen him back. Maybe like on a Legends night randomly. But he came. It felt like he was a big deal.
It did feel
And to
like he
see
was a
that
big
crowd
deal.
react. Only person missing would have been Conan.
Oh man, but
Yeah.
wait, didn't Conan make some type of impact, or didn't that not happen?
Well, he was
Or am
on
I
the
wrong?
he inducted Ray.
Mm.
But he's the legend down there, So imagine. But
We'll see. Never say never in wrestling, remember?
mm-hmm.
So
Right.
it was fun talking about NXT with you guys. As you guys always know, like I said, I'm going to do another quick plug every Tuesday. I do NXT reactions live. I'm probably going to do this Tuesday a reaction to Vengeance Day. It's going to be lit. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cute. It's going to be sassy because y'all know how I get when I get to talking. But we're going to take a quick break. I'm going to put in a little clip talking about a former queen of NXT herself. And when we come back, we are going to dip and dab into the nitty gritty of our pay-per-view / new PLE card predictions for NXT Vengeance Day.
When she was developing like her character and stuff like that, and how at first, going back to how hard it is following in like such big footsteps when you're, wrestling royalty, is they didn't want her to woo at first.
Yeah, they didn't.
And want her to lean too much into the Flair thing. And she came out how everybody comes out or thinks that they should come out with, the whole like, so happy to be here. That's so unlike her. Like I look at these photos and I'm just like, that beautiful.
She looked like she could be a Cullen from Twilight.
Like Krista.
She's a missing Cullen at this point.
No, seriously. Like I love our Charlotte episode.
That was shade. Did she have to be a Cullen?
I'm like, she's beautiful. She was giving vampire vibes, but that's baby Charlotte. That's the past.
I mean, she Latino now, so she's Charlita.
She Latina. She about to join the LWO.
Listen, like I said about Braun Breaker, I said he was too vanilla, and now he coming out here looking like a Reese's cup fudge chocolate sundae out here.
Hey, leave Braun Toretto alone.
No, I like it though. I said that.
That man is about family and fast cars.
Oh my God.
And Wolfpack and think about men in showers.
He wasn't brown. You know what? This Friday, he wasn't brown enough. I was disappointed. I was like, I hope nobody yelled at him for how much tanning he had on. Because he's one sponsorship away from using self-tan water. They should have left him the way he was. He was good looking cooked. All right? And they told him to wash it all off. I didn't like
water.
That. No.
Hilarious.
Self-tan water. Sponsored by Soul Glow.
Shining through. All right. Speaking of Soul Glow, the guys and the girls have already entered the arena for NXT Vengeance Day. If you were on their social media, shout out to them. You got a quick look and see people entering the arenas. You saw the Wolf Dogs entering and matching cowboy.
Are we really doing that?
Yes, we are, Patricia. This is this is my show. Even though you're my boss and you have the right to tell me to stop saying Wolf Dogs, I'm gonna still call them the Wolf Dogs. Mama named the Wolf Dogs. Braun said they were the Wolf Dogs. I don't say the Wolf Dogs. But they showed up in the arena matching cowboy hats looking fresh to death because they are here to prove that they could be a team. Two of the power egos going up, two of the guys that have been one since day one. The first match I'm going to talk about is, of course, the classic that Dustin made, and he's probably looking down from the heavens. Well, I can't do it. Brian, you do it for me. I'm not good.
Looking down from the heavens, baby.
Hello. From the heavens, baby. We're talking about the finale of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. It was gone on hiatus, but it's back by popular demand. And the four men that are in this final have an interesting story to tell. It is going to be Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker going up against Trick Mello Gang. We are talking about Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. The winner of this match will, of course, be your 2024 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic champions. Now, it's interesting to see if these two teams made it to the finals because while the ones on the left started out being a problem for one another, the ones on the right have been one since day one, and they've had their differences as of late. It was actually Baron Corbin who decided to choose Braun Breaker, saying, "Listen, kid, you're lost and you need me." His ego said that, Braun needed him, and Braun's ego said, "I'm here to help your old ass because you're not relevant no more." And they decided to become a team. But what people didn't know is that they would be the powerhouses that we need to see on the brand. Slowly but surely, Braun said they were the Wolf Dogs. Baron said hell no until he finally said it this Tuesday. So it looks like they're becoming more on the same page. And the same page they're on is to win. Because this will be Braun Breaker's first. This will be just another title to Braun Breaker. This means a lot more to Baron than it does to him, because this will make his relevancy in NXT more important, and his development has been great. On my right, you have Trick Mellow Gang. It wouldn't be a Carmelo Hayes without Trick Williams. They've been added together since day one. You have, again, another person who's just like Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes. He's been your North American champion, your breakout tournament winner. He's been your NXT champion. So to win this cup with his best friend would be just another notch on his belt in Impact. But you can't always be in the shadows too long. You have Melo, who has in the last few months been the next hot thing since sliced bread on the brand. Whoop, that Trick is probably, if it was on an iTunes chart, it would be at the top. If it was on Apple Music, it would be on constant repeat. These two teams are interesting and dynamic, but my question to y'all is, who can make it? Who can follow in the steps of MSK, of the Creed brothers, of Samoa Joe and Finn Balor, of Alistair, the Undisputed Era? Just name a few. Who can follow in those footsteps? And can it make and break both of these teams?
I think Baron Corbin and Braun are going to take it, and it's going to cause even more tension amongst Melo and Trick.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yep. That's how I see it.
I love that, but I think I'm gonna go with the reverse.
Oh.
I think they win it. I think Trick and Mellow Gang win, and then the greed starts to creep in, and then there's this thing. Well, this should be enough. We tag team. We got this. And so that's why I'm gonna go with Trick and Mellow Gang tonight.
All right.
You see me dancing over here. We dancing and vibing. Yeah. Why? Because we got Trick Williams theme song stuck in my head. Shout out to Josiah Williams, Wrestle and Flow, who dropped verses on Trick Williams theme song.
I need that as a ringtone.
You think I'm really about to pick a team named the Wolf Dogs when a guy came up with that name in the fucking shower?
I don't.
You think I'm really about to go against Trick Mellow Gang on Black History Month?
Correction, Justin. He was thinking about Corbin in the shower and thought it'd be a cool name, so it came up with the Wolf Dogs. Be correct. Be politically correct.
I stand corrected, but you think I'm really about to pick against Trick Mellow Gang on Black History Month? I'm sorry. That part of Puerto Rican is we got Black heritage in us. You think I'm about to go against my fucking peoples? Nah, I don't care how Tam Braun Breaker come out.
Listen, I feel like it'd be a send off for either one, because you have Carmelo, who looks like he's ready to go to the main roster and who put on a great, mind you. Also, keep in mind, both the people on there supposed to teams were just in the Royal Rumble, and they both had a great shine. The only big difference between the two is that one of them showed up on SmackDown and created even more of a hype behind himself, even against his own friend. So I think that's the dynamic that sticks out. Like, we've always talked about it on the show and on Fan Club, how Trick is he has it. He just has it.
Yep.
And I don't care if it's the theme song. I don't care if it's how he talking on the mic. He's been talking on the mic since he got to NXT 2.0, just like that. And I thought, oh my God, his mic skills is amazing. Like, where Carmelo struggled in the beginning, like I said, to be good on the mic, Trick would always come in and swoop on the end. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens if that were to dissolve. So my money, even if Braun and Corbin win, I still think it's going to cause trouble for Trick and Melo and I don't want it to, even if they win, if that makes any sense. Because I feel like if Baron and Braun lose, they're just gonna say, I'm done with you. I'm done with you. Braun's gonna go back to main roster. Baron probably show up one day on Raw or SmackDown again because he's improved, and they'll go their separate ways. But the dynamic and the interest of it more lies within Trick and Mello. Way more. People are way more invested in seeing what's going to happen if they win or lose than they are if Braun and Corbin were to win.
And there's more story there. I think back to 2018 with the Dusty Rhodes final where you had, it was 3 teams. It was Undisputed Era where they had Adam Cole wrestling twice. You had Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong, and you had ALP. And they tell a story of how Roderick turned on Pete Dunne, lost the match purposely, and then joined Undisputed Era. And I think of moments like that in the Dusty finals where it's like you could easily tell the story with Trick and Mello and then have that platform to where either they fuck up and lose this and then this is how they split, or they win it and it teases more of the tension.
Right. And then you even have to think about the fact that Baron Corbin has been here before when he teamed with Rhino back in the first classic, and he knows what it felt like to lose. So you think he wants to lose this again? I don't think so.
Teaming
I don't think
with Rhino, that man's older than Jesus.
But they got to the finals, though. Think about that.
Not they older than Jesus, but they got to the finals, though.
He got to the promised land. I'll tell you that. Like Rhino put it on his old man, got to the final. I do that. But literally, I think that Baron's more like, all right, I'm playing with you, but I ain't playing with you. We need to win this. So again, the tension lies. People are more going to look out for not only who's going to be your new Dusty Cup winner, but also what's going to happen with the opposing team that's already been having issues in the first place. And listen, you don't have to root for the Wolf Dogs, but they the Wolf Dogs, okay? They settled this.
Don't like it.
I love it. I don't know how I felt about the barking per se. I feel like I'm over the barking, but then again, I get it. He's trying to be the big dog.
His daddy used to do.
I love the whole daddy thing.
His daddy used to bark, because it's the story.
Imagine if they remixed the themes with Whoop That Trick with fucking Braun barking.
Oh man. I mean, you knew what happened. You invited the club on to watch what happens in NXT.
This is why I don't leave a day party on time. Anyway. Why I don't leave the day party on time. No, I do not.
Nope.
Because my friends are fun. The 3 best friends that anybody can have. All right.
That trick.
Now,
I need to hear a burp.
That trick.
You have
I'm like, I need to hear a burp.
I need Keith to vouch for me in the chat. Every time this man speared and did his whole like juggernaut thing, all you heard was I'm like, what am I in a fucking Omega, like in a frat house? Like, what am I in here? Like, it felt like I was in the Q Dog house. No shout out to my brothers, but they the only ones that I know that do that. But it was louder than that.
I mean, we can call it what it is, but we're trying to keep it PG on this show.
It's 5 o'clock. The kids ain't in bed yet. Anyway, moving on to the other big match that's happening with a big man who has not only seemed to step foot into NXT with one intention only to be the top dog that he's always been in NXT, but to rule over all and even decide who he wants to face. And this time he decided to graciously give the chance to the former person he took the title from to retain his belt, but it seemed like Mr. Dragon Lee has a tall hill to climb when it comes to Obafemi. Your next match we're going to predict is Obafemi, your new North American champion, against the man he took it from at the last minute at the end of a match on NXT, just 1 week fresh after winning the NXT Breakout Tournament. With his contract in hand, Mr. Dragon Lee, guys, I don't know how it's going to happen, if it happens, but do we think Dragon Lee is going to be able to take back what's his and redeem, or are we looking at the new Gunther, or as Kaz would say, the Fufu Gunther of NXT?
Squash match.
Oh,
Obafemi.
Patricia, what do we think about Fufu Gunther?
I agree. Squash match. I mean, we know who's going home with the title. Come on,
Justin.
He made dominance known on NXT.
What do you think? Well, I'm gonna let Justin give his prediction, and I'm gonna ask the question.
Dragon Lee, I hate that it's got to be you. That's gonna about to get nerfed to Jesus, but I'm not going against Obafemi. Sidebar: the necklace, is that like part of the culture?
Yes, and shout out to Lovely, because Lovely used to make those same beads for a lot of our friends in the Union Circuit, and those are actually they're actually tribal beads. My brothers have them. I've been gracious enough to crown one of my brothers with them, so they are real beads. They're part of our culture, so those are real, and I'm happy tonight. If he comes, let me tell you something. Hold on, let me take this banner off real quick because everybody agrees. I agree. Complete squash match. I want to talk about Femi even more. The more I can talk about my African brother, the better. If he comes in with traditional Nigerian outfit, I'm gonna lose my mind. Let me tell you something. If he comes in straight hat, straight garment, straight bead, I'm gonna lose my marbles. I don't know what I will do. Remember when Apollo Crews had that gimmick where he was a Nigerian prince? If he comes out like that, I will lose my mind.
Is that something you safe to stand and deliver?
That's true too. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm cooking now. I just got excited
because you just think about the bigger the audience, that's gonna be in a
and I'm gonna be
arena,
there.
basketball arena, yeah.
And I'm gonna be there, and security's gonna be like right underneath the seat.
See, that's why I'm gonna be in the club. I'll be having drinks, be like, "Yeah, them shit's gonna be flying."
You ever seen that clip of the Drake concert where somebody threw their Triple H bra at him? I don't know. They might kick me out because that might be him. He might look at that and be like, they're gonna look at that and be like, a Triple D, a what? Who's that? He might
like, God damn, someone threw a slingshot up here.
Y'all lucky this ain't the club.
She said this into the club. It's too early.
It'll be interesting. But yeah, I think maybe, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because this is his first big PLE match, but you know, it could be one of the moments you save. You know, he probably presented to HBK and HBK said, "Yeah," he may say, "You know, kid, I really believe it. Oh, we wait. Hold that. Yeah, you know." He's like, you know what?
I'm with it, and I believe in Obafemi, unlike other people. Gable Stevenson.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Grand opening, grand closing.
How you gonna do Gable like that?
Gable did Gable like that.
Ooh. Comment section.
Hi,
welcome.
We stream
Let's
weekly.
See. Yes, his name is not New Gunther. His name is Fufu Gunther. Okay, we've discussed this. Kaz has summoned it, and I agree with it. His name is Fufu Gunther, or his name is
Fufu Gunther. I like Black Walter.
No,
Black Walter is better.
Oh God.
I mean, WE ain't using Walter. Fuck it.
Because it's his real name.
He's gonna make him look like the star he is. I think it's gonna be I think it's gonna have a match with some longevity though. That's what I think is gonna happen.
For Alabama, I tell you.
Alabama gonna get a good night.
Just tell Dragon Lee, treat this like it's a Tokyo Dome, and bro, he gonna shine over up.
I mean, Dragon Lee, if anything, his record is impressive. Like he literally, you know, I feel like a lot of people don't know of him like that because I think of CMLL when I look at Dragon Lee still. And it's fair because he had a good time with his brother. Like they were tag team champions. He was good on he did good on his own. He's a former IWPG junior champion. He was a Ring of Honor tag team champion. Like I just feel like
think of Prime Rey Mysterio.
Right.
But can really go in the ring. That's Dragon Lee.
Right. And I feel like, okay, you were North American champion, period. I feel like that in itself is impressive. That can't go discredited. However, like you expect him to just yank the belt off of a giant who literally will pound the hell into your chest and create a cave. You might be off one.
But
you might be off one a little bit.
And let's take this, let's put what we do is we educate the people. We all know, like, Dragon Lee wasn't gonna spend that much time on NXT. It was literally because he was already seasoned, he was already, a legend. Come in, get a little bit of the sauce, get more so come in and teach. And what better person to go out there and put Obafemi over? He made Obafemi look like $1,000,000. That's what this is. He'll get up there and then he'll be in the mix with the, all of the feuds that Justin don't want to happen. He'll be in that mix. And it's gonna be fun, shoot, get him cooking with Santos Escobar again, because I mean that's something that I'm always here for, because Santos is that dude.
I agree. I feel like there's a lot of people that Dragon Lee can cook with on the main roster. I think his time at NXT was great. I think his time with NXT was one that a lot of people fear, like for example, with the rumor of Okada coming to WWE. I think him and Okada were in the same boat. I don't think he needed NXT. I think he needed to freshen up to see. I think it was a test because, of course, you have to be. They're still cautious for some reason of talent who come from the indie circuit of different countries to perform in WWE. They don't give them the AJ Styles treatment that they deserve. But I think that he improved himself. Ciao.
Could you imagine?
Ciao.
If Okada shows up tonight, first of all, the IWC be so stupid they would cry about it.
We would be talking about it till next Friday.
Yeah, we should be. But man, I mean, just if he, oh my gosh, like show up there, the contract is up, and he, man,
if he shows up, I know AEW fans gonna be crying and they tutus and everything. Like, are you supposed to come to us? Why are you going to WWE? They can't even book Cody right. It's
Justin, I'm gonna say this right here and now. That man been quiet the whole week. I need to stay that way. He's only been retweeting Collision. I need it to stay that way.
She said,
for the sake of the fact that Keith Bounty just got signed over there. Shout out to him for just getting signed to AEW, Mr. Bounty Keith. For the sake of that, I need it to stay that way.
Okay? I hear you. Noted. But fuck it, I want chaos now. Yeah, y'all want to go there with chaos. Let's just fucking go there.
I love chaos.
Me too.
You don't want peace, you want problems. Oh yes.
Always. Blah blah blah.
You don't want peace. Shout out to the chat.
We love everyone in the chat. Everyone here for the first time. Welcome. We love it. Come back.
Don't let that WC go for the North American title.
Oh God, you're right.
You another one. You don't want peace. You want problems. You another one. Because imagine you took that right off Obafemi. Like, child, I don't even want to think about that.
Oh Lord,
that would be a moment.
That would be a moment.
I like this comment though. That was funny, Andre. Shout out to Andre in chat. He always keeps me laughing. Speaking of funny, let's talk about another funny grunge match that's happening. These two, it came in a unique sense because it felt like the person that's about to be in this match had nowhere to go after he lost his former faction in the scripts. But now it seems like as he's found his way to trying to find himself, he seems to be, for some odd reason, interfering in his nose and everybody else's business. And it came in the form of a person who also lost his faction and found his way back to NXT. We are talking about the former leader of Retribution, Mr. Dijak, going up against the former faction leader of the scripts, Mr. Joe Gacy. And I feel like this is the weirdest match, but it's going to be a slob knock. I thought it's going to be a slob knocker tonight. For some odd reason. Because
it's one of those where you're like, why is this happening? And then you're like,
I'm just looking at Joe Gacy's face on this poster because why does he look like the perfect avatar for the IWC?
I love it.
Like when they think wrestling fans, boom, there you go.
Neck beard and everything.
Neck beard and all.
Hey, Auntie.
I feel like
I'm here for the pizza rolls.
I'm here for the pizza rolls. Can I get a Pepsi? Like, I find it interesting. First of all, Joe Gacy is becoming the most confusing person on NXT. The fact that he got the nerve to pull up that old retro suit jacket and sit at commentary tonight, that had me rolling. And then Dijak is looking at, first of all, I blame Dijak for interfering in Joe Gacy's business, because all Joe was doing was sitting there trying to live out one of his dreams and find himself and be an announcer. He could have been the next, he could have been replacing Booker T tonight, but no, homeboy literally had to step in his face. So because now he stepped in his face, last week we saw them literally fight everywhere. They fought in the locker room, they fought in the utility room, they fought in the parking lot, they fought on top of a truck, and Joe flew into a dumpster to the point where Ava almost lost her scalp, because she's like, you can't do this, like, what are you doing? And Dijak demanded the match on the spot, and Ava almost said no, but then we realized that we forgot how high on adrenaline Mr. Junior Jeff Hardy over here is, and he decides to go, you know what, that match ain't a bad idea, I'll go. So now we have a match between the two of them. You guys. Mm-hmm. I don't even know who's going to win here.
I'm not picking against Dijak or Brady. Dijak all the way.
Dijakovic. Patricia? Brian?
No, I
think she froze. That's why.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go with my guy, Joe Gacy, man. CZW alum, Joe Gacy. That facial expression. I'm not betting against that face. See, Dijak, we already know what he's tough. I don't know what we're getting from him with Joe Gacy, so I'm going with him.
Patricia?
I'm gonna go with Gacy. Because it's going to be the most random, unpredictable way. And it's going to make, I can never pronounce his name, but it's going to make him so angry and go crazy. Exactly. And it's going to be
Dijak?
Yeah.
I don't know. My money's on Dijak. Him and his crooked finger.
Oh.
Yo, really? You just put
Why you gotta have a crooked finger?
Oh, you must. You don't remember?
Last year he
like an injury that like never.
Oh yeah, that's right. Goddamn.
Put that back in my head.
I'm sorry, brother.
I'm trying to purposely forget that.
Huh? What happened?
I think he forgot what it looked like.
No,
don't send
that. I'm not gonna do that to him. It's the Lord's Day. I'm not doing that on a Sunday. Hell no, can't do that. I'm sorry. I don't have it in my gut to do that. That finger, and the only reason I thought about it is because I'm wearing a Trick Williams shirt, and I remember that promo where Trick was like, "Yo, you better calm down and stop sticking that crooked ass finger in my face."
Yo,
so that's all I remember that crap. Literally, a lot. Vaughn, hey Vaughn, what's going on, honey?
Hey,
you think that Dijak's gonna win? I think it's Dijak.
Never bet against Dijak. That's a big ass dude. Good luck, Joe Gacy.
But Joe Gacy crazy.
Bingo. That's what I'm saying.
He want a cookie?
You keep playing, he gonna come after you next.
Boy, so we can have a face off.
You're gonna show up in your trunk like he did with the family.
Nah, I ain't messing with the family. That's a different story.
Speaking of the family, we now have your tag team champions within Tony, the Don of NXT, D'Angelo, and Shannon Stacks have added their, I want to call her the enforcer of the family, Miss Ariana Razzo. And they've been doing pretty good. They've been a good faction ever since, because they've been saying, like, who are you going to call when you need to handle the business? You call Razzo. You don't call any other guys. You call Razzo. You know, she's the leader. She's the head honcho. She takes care of business over in the family. But because of that, and with this new faction coming up, we have Scripps recruiting two tall, beautiful looking men, and calling him out the mud to create his own faction. But they came up short a couple of weeks ago, trying to obtain the NXT Tag Team Champions, because Razzo doing what she do best. Razzo literally went in there and took care of business to make sure the boys won. So with that being said, they decided to recruit one of the most beautiful women to me on the NXT roster, and one of the most toughest, grittiest, down-to-earth women on that roster, in the form of Miss Jada Parker. And she has now aligned herself with Out the Mud. They have come toe-to-toe with the family. They showed up to their place of business and said, you're not going to play with us no more. We're coming for those tag team titles. So with that being said, Tony's had enough. He said, let's settle this out in the ring once and for all. So tonight we will see Out the Mud featuring the new part of the faction, Miss Jada Parker, along with Scripps leading the pack against the family, which informant is Ariana, which is Adriana Razzo, Chad and Stacks, and the Don of NXT, Mr. Tony D'Angelo. And guys, I don't know about you, but this has got to be one of my favorite matches, besides, of course, Mr. Trick Williams possibly doing a 2-match Trick Miracle tonight. This has to be my favorite match of the night to see because I like the storyline build up. So before I talk about that, who do we think is going to take the ride?
I don't know. I keep thinking the family as much as I don't want to.
Me too. I like them.
We like the family.
Yeah. I like the family, but I like what Out the Mud is doing, and also, hey, Miss Parker.
Hey, Miss Parker.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
So predictions. We have Brian. You're going with the family.
Yeah, as much as I don't want to, but I just feel like they're gonna win it.
Patricia, we going with the family, or we're going with the realest ones in the room?
I'm going with the family, but this will be Impact making night for From the Mud. That's their name, right? Yeah.
Justin?
They're gonna show out, but the family got it.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go the other way, not just because Jada Parker's involved. It's because Out the Mud is newly formed, so they kind of really need a win. Versus the family, everyone likes the family, everyone rocks with the family. The family could take an L, but Out the Mud can really use some momentum. And having them take an L here would kind of be like, so they're just a jobber squad? Nah, like give them the dub.
I don't know, with the amount of, first of all, the tallness on that team, plus the strength on both teams, it's going to be a really impressive match. Like the tag team match in itself was really impressive. The match that they had on NXT that lost in the tag team opportunity, and I like the segment in particular because this is different. This is a different faction build for them because if anybody has noticed the way I've noticed it, this is one of the first factions to where they get a woman valet and they take the time to build around the female valet. Like, and she's not a valet. Like, I haven't seen them call or treat Jada like a valet. I haven't seen them treat Razian. Like, they actually boost Razzo up. They like, even the segment, mind you, thank God they went to a warehouse in like Jersey City to film that. I love that. Keep doing that because they put in like soprano clips and they were like, who are you going to call when you're in trouble? And they gave her credit. And then with the Out the Mud segment, what I loved about that is that it wasn't just the guys talking about how they were going to beat up and get the titles back, but it was them talking to Jada about why she really is their missing piece. Like when she first came up, you know, they now understand her now. Like they were boosting her, and I love seeing that. I don't want to talk about your lingerie. I don't want to talk about how hot you are. I don't want to hear shucky ducky quack quack coming out of Booker T's mic. I want to hear about the women. And I think what's great about those two faction builds is that they're building up the women. A lot of people, I was scared for Jada Parker at first because I was hoping they would do more with her out the breakout tournament. Well, what? And we joke around about how we all want the black people to stay together as a faction. I love this though. I love how this is working. But I feel like this is Out the Mud's night.
Okay, we're gonna find
based
out.
on that.
We're gonna find out.
Unless the family gets a fourth person. I don't know. To take Reggie out.
It's possible.
Ooh. That's the only thing. The chat's going Grace. Yes, tallness beats every time. Hey, Metro North.
You hear that train? That's for the family because they're gonna be on the ride out of town.
Yo, real quick, want to give a shout out to Marty McFlyer than you, follows all of us. 2 songwriter, 2 Grammy Awards tonight. He just posted.
Congratulations!
We want to give a shout out to Marty McFlyer than you.
Oh my god!
Big ass deal for those who aren't traversed in the music industry. The Grammys is basically the Oscars. It's a big fucking deal when you win a Grammy.
Yeah.
Congratulations!
Love to see positivity on our timeline.
Oh yeah, salute and congrats and drink up.
Oh, I just saw it. I'm so happy for him. Aw. Well, shout out to him. We love Marty McFly up, and we love him in this world.
We do.
Drink enough champagne for me because I can't drink it tonight. I got early tomorrow. We're going to keep going with this pre-show. And of course, it wouldn't be a pre-show. We're going to head right now into our 2 championship matches for tonight. We're going to go into the girl that never lost a champion. I never realized she never lost championship in the first place, which is fair. And since then, she's been on a high mountain climb and peaks and valleys and lows, try and win back the belt she never won. And in her absence and in her fall came the rise of a specific phoenix in the form of Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valkyria won the NXT Women's Championship off her fellow Irish idol turned prodigy herself in that element from Becky Lynch. She literally won that title for her at a previous NXT. I'm laughing because of the comment section. My God, you guys are
going in right
just
now.
this. I'm gonna just leave this there. Tallness. Thank you, Vaughn. Just as used to tallness. Back to the at hand. Lyra Valkyria took the title off her idol. She was your new NXT Women's Champion, and in the midst of a battle royal, you saw the former NXT Women's Champion, never lost a championship in the first place, earned the number 1 spot to winning the title. So tonight you have her finally possibly coming closer to getting back her Goldie. And I'm talking about Miss Roxanne Perez, the prodigy, the youngest NXT Women's Champion on the roster, your first breakout tournament winner. Shout out to her on that note. A former NXT Women's Tag Team Champion with her frenemy, I should say, Cora Jade, thanks to social media. And it's been an interesting storyline to tell because not only is Lyra having to deal with the fact that a young woman by the name of Lola Device has not cashed in her opportunity for the women's breakout tournament contract, she also has gained a fan, a super fan, if you will, in the form of a young lady named Tatum Paxley. I'm gonna start off with this prediction by saying, only prediction I want to know is, do we think that Tatum is going to make the mistake of costing her out of the match? Or do we think she's going to do what she's wanting to do and make sure that nobody has the NXT championship?
Honestly, I think she cost her the match. I'm just in the train that I don't think, no offense, I don't think that's a championship feud. So I think she cost her the match, and that title goes back to where it rightfully belongs.
To the woman that never lost it in the first place?
Yep. The prodigy herself.
I echo Brian's sentiments, not just because I love Roxanne Perez and she's my favorite in this women's roster, but because of the story that Tatum is telling with Lyra, and that feels like that's going to come to a head sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
Patricia.
I don't want Roxanne to be champion again anytime soon. Like, I don't know. I like the chase. So I say they put on a banger, but she's going to retain.
Why do you think she's going to retain? You think she can keep it till Stand and Deliver?
Yes.
But who would be her opponent at Stand and Deliver?
Oh, that's a very good question. I can see Roxanne staying in the title picture and then someone else kind of getting into the mix. I can't say who yet, but like we've been saying all night, they have been doing such a good job with sort of like getting everyone like brewing in the background. Like, so you never know who can come up and make a star. Like, you got the Lash Legends of the world. You have so many women that can really step into that light easily at this point.
Yep.
What's interesting to me is a lot of people have been comparing this to the Mickie James situation, and it is playing out that way. But what I think is very interesting is Mickie James was never on a cusp of if if she can't have it, no one can. It was more like a Mickey, I want to be close to you every single day, every single minute, every single hour. And that's what the difference within this is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I also like this comment right here. I think your sister agrees.
Okay.
I also like this too. I think Lola and Tannen both get involved. I think if Lola's really about it, and she cashes in on Roxanne, I think that would make interesting. I think that would make an interesting stand deliver match. But I think it would be like a fatal 4-way format.
I'm with that.
Because I like, as much as I like Lola, I don't know how she could do a 1-on-1 in a pay-per-view on her own. I think her display, and even when you think about how she won the breakout tournament, she needed, because Kalani was whooping her ass. Let's be real. Kalani was handing her to stick in the mud, she needed Elektra's help. And it seems like every time somebody gets involved for Roxanne in a match, like with the match she had at Deadline with Kiana James, it took Izzy to help Kiana in order for her to win.
That's true.
So I don't know. I don't want to bet against my girl. I don't want to bet against my girl Roxanne, but I think Lyra takes this win. I think Lyra takes it.
Same.
Okay.
Justin,
you're the only one on this.
You're the only one on your sister's side.
No, Brian said he was. Brian was going for Roxanne too. The guys are split with Roxanne, and the ladies are going Lyra.
Yeah.
We're soaring. We're soaring. Yeah. I don't know. Do we think that Lyra has the capability to be have longevity as a champion?
I don't see it.
No, I think we've gotten so used to long ass reigns that like she doesn't have to have it long. I think she is doing really well, and if she keeps it until Stand and Deliver, then I think that's a perfect title reign.
She needs something else if we're gonna have like a super long title reign. Like Asuka was just mowing down everybody, and Mandy Rose had Toxic Attraction. It's like you come for one, you gotta come for three. So you think of like, and even Shayna was mowing down everyone until she ran against Mount Rhea. So it's like Lyra kind of needs something. If you're gonna sustain this long term, you gotta add something else to this. Because right now, as is like, I don't even see if you go to Stand and Deliver as champion.
Really? Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal honesty. Honestly, I mean, I don't want to say that it fizzed out after her beating Becky, but it did.
And that's my last memory of her is beating Becky, and from that to here is kind of like
a while ago.
I was thinking it felt like I don't want to say a wasted run, but it felt like, you know how like Roxanne beat Mandy Rose, who was the longest reigning champion, and even though Roxanne was like kind of like starting to get booed, there was some sort of like a reaction there, and you still was invested in what was going to happen. I don't think you're getting that with Lyra Valkyrie, and maybe maybe it's one of those things too soon. Like everybody can be a good wrestler, don't mean they have the greatest character and the greatest thing to carry, so it might be a thing that, snatch the title off now and kind of hit the reset button. It's still developmental at the end of the day.
Right. It's never too late in NXT to start over.
I feel like if she does lose, it will, but that's where it tricks for me, I guess. A loss on both ends. Roxanne's going to it goes two ways because Roxanne needs to be on a main roster. Like she
don't.
Why you don't think so?
No, it's too full. It is too stacked right now. And I understand what you're saying. The talent is there, but again, like you think about this. Just think about somebody like Chelsea Green, Think of is she funnier than Chelsea Green? Is she better than Bianca Belair? Is she better than Zelina Vega? Like, there's so many women up there that's cooking. It's not like it's a mid card title. I would rather see, like, right now she's in meaningful feuds because we're just starting to see Roxanne's personality go to a level where she's not getting pushed around, and she's finally stopped being like. Remember Bailey, right? Bailey could go to the main roster and still be somewhat happy to be here as a WWE superstar. Roxanne can't because there's too many, like, the women's division is so stacked, and her taking that attitude of I'm happy to be here, it's not going to cut it. She just got to the point where she's not that way anymore, and we want to see this cook a little bit more. We want to see her go around and just kind of get, like, let it be known that at the end of the day she the leader of that locker room. So I don't think it's necessarily a rush. I think they put the right one up as far as Tiffany Stratton.
And just to piggyback off Brian's point, if you're going to call someone up, you got to have something significant for them. Let's not forget, you just brought back Naomi. Let's also not forget, you just called up Tiffany Stratton. Let's also not forget, you have both Raw and SmackDown fighting for Jade Cargill's services on top of an already stacked main roster. Where does Roxanne fit into this? Because right now, if you brought her up, honestly, either she's going to be in catering with Xia Li or Shotzi, or she's going straight into like the tag team title picture with someone else. But that's not the way you want to debut Roxanne. Let her chill in NXT. Wait till there's something for her to come up to. And not only does she make her debut on the main roster, but she can feud with someone and go from there.
All right. Great. I never thought I would see the day where I can literally put in a sentence and say, there's too much talent on a roster. It sounds like music coming out of my mouth. Like, from like Pete understands what I'm talking about here. Like, and we're not talking about, oh, we have a couple of valets and a couple of managers. You could just stick in a battle royal with the 5 women that consistently wrestle in a match and always win every single time for it. And you can go at least 5 to 6 minutes in a fucking match. We're talking, we have too many talented, long-winded women on a roster. That is something that I never thought I would hear. So I don't care if Roxanne ends up on this roster, another roster. If they want to bring back the Cruiserweight Classic and put her on that roster, I don't care. Keep all the ladies.
And you see what they're doing on the main roster where they're actually investing in the women's tag team division. And on top of that, all the people we just named, we didn't even mention Liv Morgan, who just came back from injury. You have Raquel Rodriguez, who's going to be coming back soon out of injury. Sonya Deville, at some point, that ACL is going to be healed up and she's going to be back. And Charlotte Flair is trying to define all odds and come back earlier than expected from her knee injury. So those are people who are on the shelf that are going to come back at some point who are already on the main roster. Just to drive that point home.
Right. It's all about the slow burn these days. It seems. That's what it's all about.
But for their championship match, and I want to go back to the contract signing before we wrap this segment up. Roxanne said some pretty truthful things about how the fans are. And she said she's been watching. And she said, you have to be ready for what's going to happen because these are the same people. They're cheering for you. They're going to boo you. They're going to forget you. She said a lot of meaningful things. And I felt like while I think she was speaking for herself, she was also speaking for her friends because she's seen a lot.
Yeah.
True.
How much truth do you think was in that promo?
Everything.
Yeah. I say everything. Yeah, that's what makes the best promos. The ones that have that like majority like truth behind it.
I mean, I don't see anything wrong with Roxanne Perez. I mean, as far as the typical story of someone who was a fan who now made all their possible dreams come true in such a short amount of time, I root for her on that note. But I want to see what I saw when she had her match with like Ariana Grace, where she got frustrated and her having this attitude and it's having her. And you can see now in this match, she finally said where her frustrations came from, which is what I like about that. Like you see where her frustration comes from. It must be hard to have to see people taking a title that you never really got the chance to get back in the first place and fight over that. Plus, you got people to tell you that you need to calm down. Like, no, don't tell me to calm down. You calm down. Like, you not me. You not in my shoes. You haven't been called the prodigy and been treated like the opposite and had to fight like you're the opposite, like you're not a prodigy at all. Her losing in a reverse for the referee, which is something I never knew would happen in wrestling. That was a call to football if I ever seen it. Like, that is frustrating on top of that. Then you got people getting in her business, telling her she needs to stop being a brat and this and the third. But you need to understand the crown they put on this girl's head at 21 on that roster. I would literally make sure it would be pressure to say, like, it's not a job. Like, they see you working your best and they say, oh, you're the best thing. You could be a manager. You could be a CEO. You could be this. You could be that. You could do A, B, C, and D. And the minute you slip up one time, they ain't talking to you about manager opportunity no more. They ain't talking about you being the best employee in the room. It's a lot in that. And that's where I think her frustration came from. I don't think she was crazy. I think she was just frustrated. And that promo explained how frustrated she was. So where now in a conversation, if that promo had never happened, I don't think Brian or Justin would have thought she was going to win this match. But now you have a 50%.
That's a good promo right there.
Think about it.
We gonna find out in less than an hour.
Speaking in less than an hour, the man of the hour, Mr. Two-Match Trick himself tonight.
Love it.
Not only is he going to possibly become the next Dusty Classic winner, he also might be your new NXT champion. But before he does that, he has to beat the man who, with the red eye, is a dragon himself. In order to beat the dragon, can Trick be the dragon, or is the dragon just going to raise Dracarys one more time? Of course, we are talking about the match that Trick Williams earned by winning the NXT Deadline Iron Survivor Challenge back in December, which your girl is now a social media meme because I definitely twerked my ass off when Trick played through the speakers and he was announced the winner.
As you should.
As I sure, Mr. Trick Willie didn't get a chance to defend it due to injury to Ilya Dragunov at New Year's Evil, but Ilya Dragunov saw what the boy can do and said, you know what? I am a defending champion and you will get your title match at Vengeance. So after he wipes that sweat off that glistening chest hair and puts on them tights, Trick Williams will have to go out once again to win possibly the NXT championship. It is Trick Williams versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT championship. Y'all put in y'all comments down below who you think will take this match. But I'm going to give it to the aficionado, the booker, Mr. Hollywood himself, Mr. Brian H. Waters. Who do you have for this main event?
Oh man, this is gonna be tough. This is one of the matches that I love because I know I'm gonna be on the edge of my seat because I'm so invested. I gotta go. You think I'm betting up against a black man on Black History Month? I'm going with Trick Willie, baby.
Hello.
This is Trick Williams' night. Let's do it.
Why? Besides Black History Month.
Because this is I think Trick finds a way to do it. Honestly, think Mello helps him get the title win, and then that's when maybe they set up for the flip. Everybody think the flip comes tonight. I don't think so. I think he helps him, and then he now holds that over his head. You know, and shout out to Cornell, just jumped in.
Hey, friend.
Yeah, and that's a great point. It's a moment to make a star, and I think it happens. Imagine the memes. Just winning this title tonight, you'll see like so much social media going off, and then people are like, who is this Trick Williams guy? You know, and I think it's gonna happen. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Who's next?
I hate when that happens to me. I apologize, guys. Queen PR. We have watched the rise of Mr. Trick Williams. You and I have even come to the agreements. Yes, that besides the Whoop That Trick theme music, we've also said that Trick Willie just has it. He has that it
He has
factor.
everything.
So who do you got?
I got fuck. I just don't see Trick becoming
Mm-hmm.
champion tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gonna show out, of course. I think Melo's gonna attempt to help but fail to help him gain the championship. And it creates more tension.
I don't know. Cornell seems to be in agreement with you. It's like literally Vengeance, he's right. Vengeance Day is a history of betrayals. It is a history of betrayals. It might be tonight.
And I think
I don't
Melo, it's
know.
all
I
an
don't think it's
act, like his
tonight.
support.
I don't think
Like, I think it's all gonna be revealed to just be some shady shit.
I think if he loses, we finally found out who attacked Trick to attack Trick in the first place. That's what I think is gonna happen.
Yeah, whoever he paid.
Ooh, see?
I don't think Melo did it. I think
I don't
Melo.
See?
think Melo did it either.
He's behind it.
Yeah. Remember, he walked out. He probably went to go settle the deal or walk to make sure
Yep.
it was done.
Justin, do we think? Are you like me? If Ilya comes out with red eye or without the red eyes, because y'all know with the red eyes is when he wins. Do you think it will make a difference in this matchup?
It's tough because it's like I don't want to go against the Red Eye Bandit, but at the same time, I don't want to go against Whoop That Trick either. This is one of those where it's like, damn it, NXT, because now I'm torn. And this is what they've done all year with the NXT title, where it's like it's Dragunov and it's Mellow. And now it's Dragunov and it's Trick, where it's like, I love both of them. I want both of them to win, but both can't win. And it's hard to pick one or the other because Trick is coming in with so much momentum. I could easily see him taking that title off of Dragunov, especially if Dragunov is really as beat up as he says he is. But at the same time, when homie puts on the red eyes, he different. There's a guy that went toe to toe with fucking Gunther and not only held his own, dethroned his ass.
Yes. People
You
forget
think
about
I'm
that.
really gonna pick against wild ass Dragunov, who is able to hit like a seventh, eighth, ninth gear of like, yeah, willing to go down to the depths of hell and hit another gear just to beat you? Like, that man is scary. But for this prediction, this is hard because you gotta include Melo in this because Melo's been lurking in the background this entire time, feeling a little way that his friend, while he's happy for his friend getting the shot, is also giving off like, I don't want my friend to actually win this, and Melo may do something stupid to cost Trick the title.
The interesting thing with this storyline, and I feel like a lot of people would agree, is that we're literally, while we're celebrating the fact that Whoop That Trick has left the performance center and made our way into our screens, and even for me to be at deadline for it to make it into my ears, like to the point where people were, and I forgive the crowd for this in Connecticut, Free That Trick should never be cheered ever again in life. So let's not do that ever again. But
What?
I feel like, yeah, they cheered. They were like, when he got locked in the box the second time, they were like, Free That Trick. And I was like, please stop. Please stop. Y'all don't know where that came from. Please stop. I'm asking you nicely. But I feel like the momentum that Trick has, I don't know if it's just me, he could afford to lose this time, but still, you would have a high investment in him.
You're not wrong. I don't think you're wrong at all, to be honest with you.
And I don't want to, you know how much it hurt me to say that with this shirt on me? Like, it hurt me to say that, but that's exactly how I feel. Like, he has
I'm
enough
almost about to shed
momentum.
Cody tears.
Yo, don't leave Cody alone, y'all, please. Like, he has enough momentum to lose, but still be that guy. But I don't want him to lose. And it is like, I'm thinking of the setup. I don't think also it's West. I don't think it's Mello. Where the hell is Wesley? Because I haven't heard. We've been seeing Cora Jade. Listen, sis is in the gym working on her fitness with a goddamn boot on her leg. We done heard the updates from her. Where's Wesley? And I hate for it to be that he faked that whole thing. But why haven't I heard from my guy? I'm sorry. Like,
Nah, you're right.
Why haven't we heard from
God
him?
damn, I didn't even think about that.
Where's he at?
He
And
got
I'm glad me
injured
and Cornell think the same way because I said that
December
when
6th.
I said that when they were trying to figure out who attacked Trick the first 2 weeks, I was like, "Where's Wesley?" And I hate to play that. Everybody was like, "Oh, you're playing devil's advocate."
Because I do my research.
I do my homework.
I don't see any injury.
He had a back. He has a back issue. He has back pain. Don't mean
That's the one injury
there's
that
one
you can't
injury.
prove. That's the one injury you can't prove. Remember, like that's what they'll tell football players. Like if you're in contract negotiation and you don't want to play, instead of holding out to say you got your back aches, they can't prove it on the X-ray.
And that first time he went home when he lost the Trick, when he went home and he done that segment in the locker room where they were trying to figure out if they were going to accompany each other to the ring or not, and he was looking at them. Y'all forgot about that. That's how I tell y'all. Some of y'all didn't watch NXT. Think about that for a second. What was going through his mind?
But Joe Gacy is acting crazy, like worse than Mankind in a boiler room.
Let's think about that for a second. My prediction, though, I think it's Trick Williams' night.
Wait, so now you're going with Trick Williams?
I think I'm going with Trick Williams. I want the mess tone. If he becomes the NXT champion, it's going to be mess tone on the stage. It's going to be a mess because you're going to have now your friend looking at what he used to have, where he used to be, but in a louder space. And also you himself and Carmelo, he about to go to the main roster. So why should it concern him? Like why? Why should it concern him?
That's a good thing. But we're gonna be screaming, whoop that Trick. Man, I need Booker T. Somebody can if he can't get there, can't he like they phone him in?
Sub somebody in.
Yeah, like phone him in. He can get on the
they don't
I was about to say, can we AI his voice for like 1 minute? Oh, yeah. I
as
like
long as
it.
they don't say Shimon, I don't care.
You know, Booker don't say Shimon, he says Chucky, Ducky,
no,
quack, quack.
Wiki Barrett and Booker had to hit him with a subpoena saying don't do no ad-libs because you don't know what you're doing. That's
that was funny.
And then Vic was like, "Did you really send him a subpoena?" And Booker was like, "I had to do what I had to do." Listen. It's gonna be a great show. I feel like this is on their road to Stand and Deliver, which is their version of their single day. This is their version of SummerSlam, to be honest. I think it's gonna be a great show with so many clues left up to what could be. Of course, like I said, I'm in the building. I don't know about y'all. Philly's only an hour and a half away for Stand and Deliver, but for tonight we will be watching NXT. It's almost 10 minutes up. We will be watching NXT Vengeance Day. Any last feels on Vengeance Day? I think about Vengeance Day past. My favorite Vengeance Day happens to be when and it's funny, I just watched it the other day. It was when John Cena had to go up against like King Booker, Mick Foley, Bobby Lashley, and Randy Orton in like the most interesting fatal 5-way for his belt. It was like so much of a if you want to talk about mess tone, let's talk about that mess tone. That was a mess, but it was a good ass match. Anybody could ever think of any old school Vengeance Day matches they remember? Most of them will be John Cena heavy. I won't lie to you, but it just talk about how we remember them.
Well, mine would be before. I'm gonna take it way back. The very first Vengeance, well, before they had the day on it, and that being Trish Stratus versus Jacqueline, because Trish had just won the belt the month before, and that was like the match that like she grew up, and we got to see her transition from diva to women's champion.
I like that, Justin.
I don't remember this pay-per-view that well, and then when WWE had it, it may have been during at a time where I wasn't watching. So Vengeance Day for me is really recent.
Oh, does anybody remember? I think I remember Vengeance because it was such a short-lived pay-per-view. But I like it when the NXT brand revised it. I'll never get over Vengeance Day last year when Braun, and it's funny because this is Braun Breaker's first NXT not headlining or main eventing. Like he's actually playing the second fiddle because the two Vengeance Day that he had, he was defending his championship. He was defending the first one I think was against Pac was about Santos Escobar. And then the last year was against Grayson Waller and Steve Cage. And I actually liked the one with him. Like you saw a peak of heel Braun Breaker in that tournament. You saw like a peak of it. Like a smidget. Because when he was yelling at, even in the cage, when he was like, it seemed like, and Grayson Waller put up a good fight in that match last year. But it seemed like when he was yelling at him, he was like, "This is my doghouse, blah, blah, blah." And Grayson was like, "I don't care. Like, you can hit me. Like, I could take it. Like, I ain't no punk." But that stuck out to me because that was like shades of heel Braun coming out. And then the next pay-per-view at Stand and Deliver, he lost to our boy Carmelo. So that was the end of that. Then he just turned into a bad guy. Yes. Hi, Corbin. Hi, honey.
Hi, Corey.
What up, Corey?
Even though you late. Dylan, hi, honey.
Speaking of late,
Dylan.
the man from down under, headbutting kangaroos, Dylan.
It's early down there. We forgive you. Let's see. Oh, I just watched that one too. The Rock versus Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was the king of Vengeance Day too.
Yeah, I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
So they did go at it for the undisputed. I think who won that one?
The Rock.
The Rock won that one. Oh, speaking of The Rock, Jesus.
On that note,
on this show.
Yeah, we're not speaking about
that show. Yeah. Oh,
Not
how
today.
was MCW? Nice.
it was MCW. It's MCW.
MCW. Oh yeah, MCW. My bad.
I told y'all they don't do independent wrestling. Once you go to independent wrestling in New York, you don't want to go to Maryland no more. But that's all I'll say about that.
Brian.
Damn, as someone that's not gone to independent wrestling in Maryland, I was looking forward to it one time, but Brian just said, "No, Hatanga, take that headshot."
But who else? Oh yeah, Rock did win that one. I don't know. I feel like Vengeance Day. I feel like it's good that they're bringing more NXT PLEs to the main stage. I feel like hopefully now that Heat Wave is announced, I will be taking my ass to Canada because Heat Wave in Toronto sounds really lit. Sounds Lady Jitty McGritty. I know Stand Deliver is going to be late, and I also know that this Vengeance Day PLE is going to be fire. It's going to answer a lot more questions and leave us with a little bit of answers. That makes any sense?
Yeah.
Can we agree?
Yeah.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
So to wrap this show up, I always do a who's up next type performance. To see who's next, who's coming up, who we think is going to steal. So let's change it up tonight. Let's see, who do you guys think would be the standout match for tonight? Queen, PR? What do you think? What match is going to stand out to you the most tonight?
I'm going to say the championship match. The NXT championship match is going to be the standout. Looking forward to it.
And the standout star?
Yeah. Oh, Trick.
Oh, speaking of winners, look who just stepped into the room.
Congratulations,
Marty. Miss a Grammy Award winner, Mr. McFly in a building.
Two times. And if you want another one, the last tweet I saw was the second one. So.
Nice.
Two time.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, doll. Listen, you got people coming for you, Brian, because you just started some mess tone. Look, don't sleep on the MC Independence. Toronto has one of the best wrestlers.
Yes, Baltimore in his defense.
He did.
Hey, we don't get independent wrestling in Baltimore. That joint in Maryland. But
I thought it was Baltimore.
Well, you know, you got to put on a professional voice.
I ain't professional.
Baltimore.
I do it for you.
Baltimore, home of Sesame Street.
Stop.
Sesame Street around.
Brian, what do you think is going to be the match tonight, and who do you think is next up at NXT?
Match of the night. I'm gonna go with the main event as well. I just think that the way those guys are going to cook. It's going to be one we will really see. Star making out of Trick Williams, win, lose, or draw. I think we're gonna see another level from him because it's a big night for him.
Justin.
So I'm gonna agree that the star making performance is gonna come from Trick Williams, but I'm gonna go not the main event. I'm gonna go with the tag team. Him and Mello
Mm.
versus Braun and Baron because they got some things to prove in that match. You know, this is gonna be the only time you might see Carmelo tonight. Braun has a decision between staying in NXT or pop up to SmackDown. You know that man got handed a contract from Nick Aldis, so he's got some decisions to make. And Baron Corbin, this time around, he's been putting in that work in NXT. So I'm really interested in this match to where like I think they can show out, and I think this might be the only time Trick gets a dub tonight.
Really?
I said it earlier. It's hard for me to pick against Dragunov, especially when Mello is lurking around and could do something to cause Trick the match.
I agree. I think that this, I, and it's hard for me. I think that I think the same thing, but I think this out the mud and the family match might stick out really well as well because like I said, these are factions that have boosted um their women for a reason, and that's because they're both really good performers. I think that we need more. I know we always get tired of factions. Is not a secret. A lot of people are tired of it, but I feel like this is one match we could enjoy because if not like the Chase U and the Stitch match, which that was like pulling teeth to watch. I love Ava. That was pulling fucking teeth to watch. That match was bad. And it took for Duke and Joe Gacy to steal the ending for it to be good. But I feel like with that match, this is a chance for everybody to stick out. And I really, really like Out the Mud. Like I really am rooting for them because, and I like, and it's hard because I like the family as well. I always like Tony D'Angelo. I always like Chan Sachs, and I like that they involve like their like Carmella Soprano to the group, if you will. But I feel like Out the Mud hasn't. I feel like they're my next up NXT faction wise because it looks like with the with I feel like the Judgment Day is going to slowly break up.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there's no other faction. I feel like Alpha Academy is like your replacement of the New Day, since the New Day can't fully be a New Day without Biggie. So for me, I feel like those factions are going to be the factions that can finally stick out for a little bit. Even if they were to break up, the stars would stick out a lot more. So that's where I'm coming from with that. So
Okay.
that's my match tonight. I want to see what's going to happen with the end of that match because I want to see these factions grow. Not fractions, but factions. And so I think Dijak and Gacy's going to be good because I felt like this was a storyline that was made out of mess, and that they're both really gritty when it comes to matches. I don't want to sleep on neither one of them. Like they're both really gritty wrestlers, but they're both really talented. So I feel like they're going to put on a good match as well. Oh no. They really, yeah. And that's another thing too with Trick. I like that they're putting that much faith in him because not a lot of superstars like him that have had 2 matches in one night. Only a few have.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big deal for you to put that much faith in him to have 2 matches.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I don't know. But all in all, it's the 8 o'clock hour. They said Cody might be there. I think Miss Parker's gonna show up. I agree. I really agree. We want to thank
Yeah,
Queen
let's get
PR.
started.
Let's get it started. I want to thank Queen PR for coming in. I want to thank her, and I want to thank everybody in the chat who has supported, showed up, and showed out. You can catch Miss Queen PR every 2 weeks on Those Wrestling Girls. We are here. We are here every Wednesday. We also do Thirsty Thursdays beginning of the month. They have their episode right now with Miss Christy Love, who's an amazing, amazing person. I had the pleasure of meeting her. She's just phenomenal. 3 lovely, phenomenal women having a great group chat. So if you have not subscribed to their channel and you're missing the Miss Tone, you need to hurry up and do it. Where can everyone find you guys? Let's go in the order. Fan club.
I'm about to say. So you can find me on all social media platforms at It's Justin Rich. You can find me here live on Those Wrestling Girls Twitch channel, live from 7 to 9 for TWG Fan Club, myself, and these three beautiful, illustrious, intelligent co-hosts of mine. You can catch me Tuesday nights, Twitter Spaces on Black Wrestling's handle for Turnbuckle Talk, aka The Buckle, with myself, Mimi, and Corey, where we talk all things wrestling. You can also catch me from time to time on True Heel Heat Sports and True Heel Heat Wrestling. Both of those channels are located on YouTube, where we talk sports, wrestling, and all that fun stuff. As soon as we wrap up here, your boy is hopping on True Heel Heat's live stream for Vengeance Day. So I will be double dipping tonight. We here, we outside, and we active. Trick Williams, tonight is your night, man. Show up, show out.
Yes, sir.
You can find me at Brian H. Waters on Twitter, and Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Find me there. Everything's right there. I know we got to get out of here, so just look me up. You'll see all the latest things I just did.
Google him. His Wikipedia page hasn't started yet. We're working on that, on some underground AI stuff. So just Google him. You'll sure to find him.
Did you?
Did I supermarket plug you? Yes, I did. In the front aisle in the end cap. Queen, I did my best to plug you, but I'm gonna let you plug.
Thank you.
You can anything that I missed, let me know.
I think you did a wonderful job, just like you did tonight with this Vengeance Day pre-show, which is actually, I think, starting now. But of course, subscribe to Those Wrestling Girls YouTube channel. Make sure you leave a 5-star review on all podcast platforms. And check out Love and WWE recap from Brian H. Waters and I everywhere.
Which was adorable, by the way. Very adorable. I loved it. I loved every second of it.
Thank you. But yeah, check that out and enjoy Vengeance Day and come back for Watch What Happens NXT on Tuesday.
Yes, and as usual, thank you guys so much for being so involved in the chat. I'm sorry I was trying to finish this before Vengeance Day started, but y'all have been keeping us so active and so light in these comments. I appreciate everybody for coming on here. But yes, it's your honorary wrestling girl, Ciendo B. You can find me here. I'm also streaming for my YouTube channel. So if you're not following me on YouTube, go ahead, search me up at Ciendo B. Subscribe. I'm at 39 followers, y'all, after just starting. So congratulations to me. I'm thanking
me for being subscribers up.
Yes, so don't be afraid to follow me here, where I will be streaming live Watch What Happens NXT along with Those Wrestling Girls. And then when I'm not talking about NXT or recapping you on everything that you missed, I am sitting in the fan club, in a club with the 3 best friends that anybody can have every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. I don't know what we're talking about yet. We got to get into a meeting about that. We don't know what we're talking about yet. We don't know. We will tell you guys on social media. So just look out for the flyer, the ad, all that. But everybody also enjoy Vengeance Day. It looks like it's going to be a ton of fun. Vibe Feed just started about 4 minutes ago. And I can't wait to see you guys Tuesday. I can't wait to see you guys Wednesday. And with that, we are going to say peace out. Bye, 2 Match Tricks.